Yeah, that was my answer. It just brings me extreme peace that surpasses my own understanding.
All right. Um. Okay. So, what was your name again? Labubu. We're gonna call you Labubu because you're a man. No offense.
Yeah, what's up?
Same question. Why do you believe what you believe?
Well, I mean, I don't really believe in anything, so that's where I'm going to start off with. I don't know what it is. I feel like there's something going on, but I don't believe in something, so to speak. The thing is, I don't believe in stuff is because we have like the common problem of evil within these religions. It's like if you believe in a god and it's all powerful, then why does unnecessary suffering exist? It's like natural disasters, childhood cancers, stuff like that. And then you have like the lack of evidence within the scriptures. There's contraindications within the scriptures and stuff. So I struggle to believe in that stuff. Um, yeah, and a lot of science debunks a lot of these faithful beliefs that people have. So like how the world began, there's obviously scientific evidence towards how that stuff began. So I don't really believe in anything. So that's where my stance is.
Okay. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Um. Who is this next to me? Is that Party next to me?
Looks like a very sophisticated gentleman.
He's scaring me. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get these people here.
Thank you for
I
calling me
got a new, I
sophisticated.
got a new judge with me. What's up?
Thank you for calling me a sophisticated gentleman. I very much appreciate that compliment.
Yeah, I think he was talking about this guy next to me with the teeth and all.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Well, since that one guy left my co-judge with his question, we're going to just step on to the next one here. Um, Mr. I'm not. Sorry, Mr. Bible. What first led you to adopt these beliefs or explore these theories?
wait, what?
Well,
Um, well,
let me ask it
when I was
again because he
16
didn't
years
hear me.
old,
Let me ask it again because he didn't hear me. I
I
said,
did. Oh,
because I
okay.
already asked them what they believed. So now they're going to tell me why they believe what they believe. Alright, so the question is, I don't know Technoblade, but I have a monotone. What first led you to adopt these beliefs or explore these theories? And,
All right, should I answer?
Uh,
no, this is for him.
when I was
Oh, okay, my bad.
16 years old, I was in between atheism and Christianity. I was born into a Christian family, but I didn't adopt them from my family, right? So I sat down with an open heart. I opened the Bible. I went to Romans. And when I was reading through Romans, there was no specific verse. It was like the words jumped off the pages into my heart, and I felt peace like never before. So from that day, I was a saved Christian.
That is beautiful. It seems like I lost a couple of people, a couple of judges. But it's okay. I'm still here. Same question for you, uh, Labubu. Unless you need me to say it again.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Okay. What first led you to adopt these beliefs or explore these theories of not having any beliefs like everybody else?
Uh,
Oh, wait, let me
I
reset the time.
began
There you go.
yeah, I began questioning Christianity because I wanted my beliefs to be based on evidence and like logical reasoning rather than traditional faith. And I learned more about science and philosophy and the diversity of the religion within religions across the world. And
Mm-hmm.
I found these natural explanations for many things I had previously attributed to God within because I grew up going to a Catholic and Christian school, so I had all put upon me um, the existence of suffering and the empirical evidence, the lack of empirical evidence for supernatural claims. So stuff like that.
Okay.
I just concluded
Oh, I thought you were
that there
finished.
honestly wasn't sufficient evidence to justify believing that Christianity is actually true. So that's where I don't have a. That's why I have a lack of faith.
Okay. Now that we have an establishment of where you guys both stand, I'm going to let you guys debate amongst each other. Hopefully these two people don't talk when they join in, but we'll put them next to me real quick and in the audience.
Hey guys, who's Christian here?
Christian is Bible, and other is Labubu.
Okay, so I have a question for the Christians. Like, what's the main line of argument as to why you're Christian? Like, why do you believe in God?
Okay. You gotta have to direct that question to both of them. Why they believe
Yeah.
in God and why they don't believe in God, the other person. So
Yeah, that's what I meant.
go along.
Are they
with
are they
it.
active?
Bible, you first.
Well, I believe because I already answered this question in a different way. I believe because it gives me peace beyond my own understanding that there is a God up there who loves me.
Okay. So is it just the fact that like a powerful being loves you, or is it just the amount of love he has for you?
Neither. It is the simple fact that the creator of the universe loves me for who I am.
So loves you regardless, loves you unconditionally.
Exactly.
Therefore, isn't it the amount of love he has for you?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Therefore, isn't that just the amount of love he has for you?
It's not just the amount of love he has for me.
Why
It's
do
the
love
simple
you
fact
when
that he
you're
Hey,
the
loves
hey,
me
hey,
so much.
hey! Don't let me mute you.
It's not just about how much he loves me. It's about what he's willing to do for me.
Nothing
What
about
is-
gayness because that's
Okay.
what you want.
Okay, wait, Annie, please shush. Wait, so
Yeah.
what he's willing to do for you because he loves you. So okay, let's say God wasn't all powerful. Let's say he was just all loving, right? But the fact that like he didn't need to be all powerful because he felt that like since he's all loving, then he'll be able to like to spread that love around that it wouldn't make people do evil. Okay, so like what if like he was like wouldn't that just make him as good as like any person? Like for example, what if someone like loved you unconditionally, like they would actually do anything for you, like genuinely, like you see an obsession, like like it's humanly impossible for someone to love you unconditionally. So what makes a difference between, let's say, like the next girl is obsessed with you, do anything for you in comparison to a deity? It just makes it seem that, like, to me personally, it seems that when Christians are so like, I don't know, oh, God loves me. I think it's more the fact that he is powerful. If God wasn't powerful and he loved us, it would be like, well, love is something that is tangible. Love is something that anyone can have. Like, what makes God different is the fact that we fear him. We are so scared of him that it is a, what do you call it? A deterrent for us hating him. In which, in that absence of hate, we have to love him. If that makes sense.
I get you.
That's not entirely true for faith, like people of the faith. See, you're not supposed to fear God as a being. You're supposed to fear his wrath, what he can do. But he will not, like, if you sin, for example, you can ask him for forgiveness. The only reason you should be afraid is because if you're not saved, it's the only reason you should be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid of God for any other reason.
That makes sense. So essentially, to me, it sounds like you're proving my point. Because God's wrath, right, as we've seen with Sodom and Gomorrah, as we've seen with him basically obliterating the whole world, he essentially has the whole world in his hand, in terms that he can care for it and he can also crush it. So essentially, like, the power that God has is different to me. Like my wrath. Like, the worst I can do is kill you, or slap you, or whatever. Like, but in contrast to what God can do, he can literally take a life like that. And because we value human life, then doesn't that just prove my point that we almost have this like compulsory integral value towards God because we have to? And you're saying that we should fear him when we don't believe him. But if he's all loving and he loves you unconditionally, then doesn't that give a condition to why he doesn't care enough for us that he would condemn us?
Do you know the context of why he flooded the earth and destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah?
Oh,
I know the context.
we can't get into this. We gotta move on with this. You gotta ask the other person the counter questions to that, to why they don't believe in God. So
Yeah,
we
fair
can move
enough.
along.
Okay, so I'm not trying to go into like the whole like specifics about the Bible, but essentially just sort of like illustrations. It's just like, you know, I know the story, and it's just like, if he's all loving, regardless of any excuses, there's no buts. Because if God's all loving and he loves you unconditionally, and that's the reason why you believe in him, then if we're meant to walk by faith and not by sight, then like,
I love you, but we this on past what we need to be taking. This is more for entertainment, not for, you know, preaching. You know what I'm saying? If you want to stay on the show and help, let's stop making this more about you and just make this
Can
about
I,
them.
You don't want to
Can I
let us
say
speak?
something really quickly?
You know what I mean?
Can I say something really quickly?
Yeah.
Forgive me. Can we get on to the other set of questions that you have? set
That's what I was
for-
saying. Like, she's trying to make this about her and her Christianity, and
She's not Christian. She's
Well-
trying to see why I believe what I believe.
oh, she's trying to debunk you.
Hmm.
Well, we should have her up there against you.
You can do that. I wouldn't be
Okay.
opposed to it.
Give me a second.
I don't mind if you want to swap me out.
All right, we're gonna swap you out.
I never made it about
Chill out,
Christianity.
Brianna.
Like,
Chill
I'm
out,
pointing
Brianna.
out as the-
Chill out,
No, I'm
Brianna.
chill. I'm calm. I'm just trying to say before you meet me again. I'm just saying I never made it about my Christianity. I used to be Christian, but like I'm just quoting it as like I'm using the Bible as like obviously it's the main source that Christians use. So I'm just quoting it because I'm about to contradict that point. I'm not trying to like convert any of you guys. So I
No.
appreciate it if you didn't meet me.
No, you're good. No, you're good. This isn't about conversion. This is more or less about your point of view versus his point of view. Now, you already got the questions going, and I was already going to have you guys speak with each other anyway about how you guys believe what you guys believe. But before we could do so, we have to find out what you believe in. So we have to ask you these two questions before you get into him. No, Diddy.
I don't get what. Okay, anyways, yeah.
Okay, here's the first question. The first question is, what do you believe in? Can you explain all your beliefs?
Well, as someone who was like reverted from Christianity to a more agnostic faith, I do believe in a more spiritual point of view. Like, am I gonna go into like the whole logistics of spirituality? No, because like I'm not 100% sure myself. Like, I'm just trying to like be about Christianity like first because I was able to deconstruct that. Like, why go next? I don't really know. Like, I'm still a young personally, so it's like I don't. Okay, what are these super stickers? Like, it's just my opinion and my beliefs. Like, you ask some question, you can't be not surprised. Like, but I'm not Christian.
Right.
Bro,
And the
I'm
second
okay,
question
bro. Calm
is,
down.
hold on.
I'm calm.
And the second question is, what first led you to adopt these beliefs or explore these theories?
I just feel like there's a lot of significant contradictions in the Bible, especially with my own like personal dilemmas. Like, it just didn't really make sense to me. Knowing like ain't inconvenient, it just wasn't conceivable at all.
All right. Now, that's where we are, people. These two. Now, who should start? Who should start? I guess you should get back into the way you were. You guys just go back hand in hand. We'll let you talk for. I don't know how to make this time go up because I'm on a PlayStation 4. So we'll let you talk for a minute, and then he'll talk for
Can
a
you
minute.
give me like? Can you give me 2 seconds? I gotta
Okay.
I gotta get my composure because these stickers are crazy. Just give me 2 seconds,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Also, what I'm confused about is that like fake cell. Are you Christian?
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm
Are
Christian,
you
boy.
fake
Oh,
cell?
Faith.
Because
So-
like, why would you like that sticker like has connotations of judgment? Like, doesn't it directly go against your
What are you
religion?
talking about?
I mean, the
What do you?
sticker.
I made a sticker because he posted something that looks like AH. I'm like, is that him? Like, calm down. It wasn't even about you. You
I
think
am
everything's
calm.
about
I'm
you?
just
You
I'm
asking.
need to
gonna go.
I'm
relax.
not. I'm really not. I'm just asking. Like, I
So
was
why do you
talking
think
to
this? Why do you think the sticker that was a reply to somebody else pertains to you?
because I was speaking and like you just posted randomly.
But
No
was it a
context.
reply to you or was it a reply to somebody else?
Well, I don't
The
know. I
context
was
is
talking
right
to
there in the
people.
chat. It was a reply to Bilba. That's the context.
All right, calm down.
So yeah, it wasn't about you. So calm down. Like,
I
you're
am
not
calm.
that
It's
bad.
just a
But
yes or no question. No, like you're saying
it
calm down to
wasn't a
show
legitimate
that I was
question.
always
It
calm.
was a reply to Bilba, not you. If I was to
Okay,
post that
thank you for letting
solely
me
in the
know.
chat,
That's perfectly
if
fine.
there
You should
was
I
to
calm
think
down.
we're
post that
getting off
solely in the
You should
topic
chat,
here.
calm
then you
We
would
kind
have
down.
of
an
need to.
argument.
Keep it balls on.
Okay,
Okay,
you
Calm
okay.
down,
guys
man.
need
My
to
bad.
keep
My bad. My bad.
Yeah,
composure.
My bad.
keep it balls
Keep it
on. Calm down. Keep it balls
respectful.
My
on.
bad.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Why would you
My bad.
want
My
me
fault.
to
My fault.
mod you and you getting all riled up like that?
I was gonna help you with.
Oh,
My apologies. I just thought like I didn't. I'm not gonna look into like the specific context of the chat. I just thought he posted it when I was talking. That's all.
right.
All right, I'm good to go.
Okay.
That sticker had me dying, but I'm good to go.
So she's gonna start off with her minute of ranting, and then you're gonna reply, rebuttal, or go into a rant for a minute, and vice versa, back forth. Good with that?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll do that for a minute, and then we'll decide who has a better viewpoint.
Oh, okay.
Even though
To be
it
fair.
really doesn't matter.
Oh.
All right,
Can I go
you can
first?
go.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I actually have like a main line of argument. Like I'm more professional debater, so there might be contradictions in my speech, but I'll say my opinion. Anyways, what's my point? To be fair, can you go first? Because like when I was cut off, my whole argument kind of left my mind. I'm not gonna lie. Or you can pick someone else in the queue. Is anyone? Oh, there's no one else in the queue. So you can go first. We could just end it here.
Okay, Bible, you can go first.
What am I supposed to?
Unless,
I don't actually know.
Something
wait,
you said
I
last
got
time?
you an idea.
Like, yeah, prompt
Freckle.
us, please.
Freckle.
Huh?
Well, his
Yeah, you
name's
can go ahead.
Fake Cell. I was calling him Freckle. Fake Cell.
Yeah.
He
So
said, okay, you're at the asking podium, so ask them a question about faith or non-faith, or Bible studies, non-Bible studies. Any question, religious question.
I guess I would ask then, what contradictions do you think there are in the Bible?
I mean, in terms of like the more pedantic ones, like about like women, like not being able to wear trousers and the meaning of wear trousers, eating pork in the Old Testament, not eating pork in the Old Testament. There's some misconstruities about Leviticus 8:22, the famous verse about like being like gay and all that stuff. Like apparently like this like it's about like the Torah or whatever, like where it says like it's about little boys instead. Like it's just a lot of confusion. But like even then like when like even like when I was talking about like it being like omnipotent, like I was actually making a really good point where it's like what about faith but not by sight? Like yeah, like how can like I have faith in a God that like has such like misconstruities in his nature? Like if he's all loving, then like it wouldn't make sense that like he would like destroy his own creations, like regardless of the excuses. And like even though it's like oh like Moses says oh an eye for an eye or tooth for a tooth or whatever, but then they start preaching about patience. So I don't really see how like retribution and patience are not mutually exclusive. So those are just some examples I have. They're not solid, but off the top of my head.
All right, Bible, you want to rebuttal that? Yeah, all the contradictions she was talking about in the Bible.
Contradictions? Are you
Yeah.
talking about like the everything in the Old Testament?
Whatever she was
not a
talking
contradiction.
about, like
When Jesus came back, he fulfilled all of the laws. Like for example, the eating pork law, that's not a thing anymore because he fulfilled it. Until Jesus came back, died for our sins, and saved us, That's why we had to do those specific rituals in the Old Testament. We don't have to do those anymore. As long as you're a faithful Christian and you serve Christ and you die to your flesh every day, then you're saved. That's it.
That's it.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't care enough about this. You guys have a nice day.
Oh, you're out.
Hey, you too.
Thank
you too, bro.
Well,
Be safe out here.
she's
It's crazy.
All right. Well, that was good. Rudy Piper. Are you Christian or are you other?
I'm Christian.
You're Christian. You can sit right here for a minute. Tess, you Christian or are you other?
I'm other.
You other? Okay, we'll
Yeah.
get you up there for a minute. Other. And Tess, what do you believe in?
I'm agnostic. I believe that we can either disprove or prove the existence of God, and anyone that claims to know what God is, or what he believes in, or how anything happened, doesn't have any evidence
Hey,
to substantiate that their
Mute
claims.
yourself for a minute. Mute yourself for a minute, Rupert. I'm asking questions.
Okay.
Say that again, Tess, the last part. Claims.
I believe that people can neither disprove or prove the existence of a God.
Okay, what first led you to adopt these beliefs or explore these theories?
I don't know, just my life experiences, I guess.
Can you be more elaborate?
There's many experiences throughout my life that led me to this conclusion. I don't I don't.
One
You have
good
to be
one.
more specific than that.
The first one that's really good.
It was. I can't really pinpoint to any specific experience. It was just a gradual thing.
Okay. And 1 second. Thank you for that, Tess. Rupert, what's up?
Friend, I have very, very important question.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you Christian or other?
I'm Muslim.
Okay, so you're other. What's up?
So this question is very important. So the Father know everything, right?
Oh, no. Hold on. What do you believe in?
He's
And
Muslim.
He's Muslim.
I'm Muslim.
I mean, yeah, you're Muslim, but aren't there different versions of Muslim? Like there are different versions of
Are you
Christianity.
talking about like the schools?
Are you talking about Shia Sunni?
Right.
Are you a Sunni Muslim?
Of course I'm Sunni.
Okay.
Ah,
And what first led
Okay,
you
let me
to
ask you-
adopt these beliefs and or explore these theories? Just in case we put you on the podium.
Okay,
Who
I
was born that way?
I was born Muslim, then I learned more about Islam. Now I believe in
Oh,
Islam.
That's what I thought. Tess, would you rather Rupert take your place?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I debate
Give me a
Rupert?
minute. Huh? What's that?
Can I debate Rupert?
Can you debate Rupert? Okay.
Yeah, can I be that person?
Bible, would you like
here. I'll make a
fake
deal with you.
to take your
Fake.
place?
If I can't if I can't debate correctly, sure, I'll let you take my place, right?
Yeah, that's a deal. It's a good deal.
Really quickly, forgive me. Can I set a rule really quick, Rupert?
Uh-huh.
Okay, what rule?
So I've debated Sunni Muslims before, and the one common denominator in between every single one that I've debated is they always talk over me. Now that's a really big pet peeve of mine. Please do not speak over me. All right?
I will never talk over you.
Thank
It's
you.
just Roblox.
Thank
It's
you.
just
I
Roblox.
already like you.
No serious game. It's just a game. What's so serious about it?
Thank you so much. All right, that's it.
Okay, give me a minute. I was doing the wrong thing here, apparently. Apparently, I thought I was doing the right thing. I'm just listening to the conversation, not doing anything.
Can I go first?
Uno momento, por favor. 1 minute, sir. Okay, those still left. That was crazy. All right. You want to give him a debate question there? Fake
Okay,
cell.
It's a great question. I have a great question.
Hold on. Fake cell gonna give you guys the question.
Okay.
I'm gonna give them a question.
Don't you have a question for him? Between
Nah, I thought
Christians
it
and
was,
Muslims?
I mean, nah, I thought they were just gonna speak about what they wanted to speak about.
Oh, okay,
Or
cool.
Rupert,
We
he
can do
seems
that.
like he wants to say something.
We can
Yes,
do
yes,
that.
please. Let me
All
say
right,
that question.
Rupert, you got 1 minute.
All right. So my question is that since the Father know everything, and then it says Jesus know everything. So what are they gonna talk about? That's my question.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I was coughing my
Bro,
brains
what?
out. Say that
He
again.
said,
What's your
he
question?
said, hold on. He said, so the Father knows everything and Jesus knows everything. So what are they gonna talk about?
That's crazy.
Exactly. What are you gonna talk about? What are you gonna talk about? If I know everything and you know everything, what are we gonna talk about?
Okay, I can ask you the same thing. Hold on. If
About
Allah
Muhammad?
and Muhammad, peace be upon him,
So
if Allah tells Muhammad everything and Muhammad knows everything because of Allah, what are they gonna talk about?
Touche.
Exactly. But
So it's just gonna be silence up there
yeah, both I guess we don't talk. I guess we both know everything.
because in heaven in Christianity there is no silence. It's constant worship between the angels and the souls of humans. So for you, it's just gonna be silent. Is what you're telling me?
For both of you, apparently.
All right, touche.
Yeah.
Do you have a real question?
No, you start. I have no question. That's the only question.
Well, I don't attack anybody else's beliefs. I defend mine. That's why I'm up here.
Oh, I don't attack either. I'm just a chill guy.
Okay, sure. I got
Okay.
you with a question. What do you think about Muhammad consummating with Aisha when she was 9?
Wasn't it like Judeo-Christian something? Religion? No, tradition. That's why.
No, there was no tradition in Christianity where we would consummate with young girls. It's not a tradition in Christianity.
But I thought
It never was. There is no proof that there ever was.
There's no proof.
Oh. All through the Old Testament, Mary wasn't 16, and what's her name? I forget her name. She wasn't 12.
She wasn't 12.
Aisha was 9. She said she was 9 in the book that she narrated.
My friend, tell you, I'm no good debater.
It's okay. It's okay. You're good, bro.
Only had one question. My question was answered.
You're a funny guy. I like you, bro. You're very funny.
Usually that would stump him out. you decided to say something, right? You broke the script, right?
I had a question for you both. What do you think about between the ages of 12, 13 to 22, Jesus was with a merchant caravan going through like India and places like that, studying with people, and people called him Saint Isa.
I actually I'm. Forgive me, I'm not. I don't have any knowledge on that.
Okay, well, that's the speculation of what everybody who has knowledge on it is saying.
Mm.
What are your thoughts
Mm.
Where
on
did
him
fake
being
go?
called Saint Esau? Or ISSA. Saint Isa.
Isa just means Jesus.
Exactly.
Messiah, Jesus.
And with that being in mind, what do you guys think about Esau from the Quran being Isa from the Bible?
I can't. I think I see where you're going. Are you trying to say that Jesus was a Muslim?
I would have said that when you're in Rome, your name is something other than what it is in Nazareth. Because
Wait,
in
isn't that
India, it was something other than it was in Nazareth.
You're saying Nazareth, like the spell, like Teen Titans?
Bethlehem.
I'm confused. Why you got me stumped? I don't understand what you're saying.
Because I speak in riddles. Do you see me?
Oh, yeah, bro. I understand. Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about him. I understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess it's for ears to hear and eyes to see.
But on, man, go back to English. I don't know about that.
I know what he's talking about. I see
Anyway.
what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
What? What am I doing?
You're speaking riddles from both books, and it's
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes. Yes, I am. Okay, so who is Jesus from the Quran and who is Jesus from the King James?
I say Jesus is just the prophet of God.
Right?
I thought Muhammad was the prophet of God.
Hey,
They're both the prophets of God.
nice.
But who is more powerful?
Neither. They're both prophets. They're both humans.
No. Jesus in the Bible, I should say in history, is the Son of God. He is the Almighty.
Did you
The
get voice chat?
relationship is
Oh.
Jesus and the Father have a son and father relationship, but they're both on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, now I have an actual question. Is there a question?
Yeah.
I got
So how
you.
did Jesus even get get, you know what I'm saying? How?
Answer.
If he was God?
How did he come into a human body?
No,
Or
like how did he how did the humans were able to do that to him? You know?
Because he allowed it.
Yep.
He allowed his own creation to starve him, beat him. He allowed it because he
And
loved
end
us so
him.
much. He did it
And end
for the he needed to be for our sins.
Yeah. Everybody
And I don't
does that
understand.
anyway, really.
What do you
Continue.
mean everybody does that?
They allow
What do you
people
mean,
to let
what?
them go away. When the only person that can really take you away is the Father.
Why should I let someone else get harmed?
Don't fear the one who can kill the body.
Mm-hmm.
Fear the one who can kill the body and the spirit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know what? First.
I got you. I got you with a question actually now. Rupert,
Yeah.
if Muhammad is going to have eternal peace with Allah, why every time that Muslims, followers of Islam, say his name, they have to say, peace be upon him? Isn't he already at peace?
You talking about the salawat, like salah salam?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's I don't know really, but I know like it's like for like you just praise the prophet, you get raised. God raises you 10 ranks, I think. Like
I thought
forgives 10
God was the only
sins.
one. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Forgive me. Keep going.
Like he said, like God forgives, you know, because like the prophet Muhammad was like the last final messenger of God.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought God was the only one who was supposed to be praised. Why praise the creation and not the creator?
What do you mean?
You just said you praise Muhammad and Allah gives you up 10 levels. Why would he put that in place if Allah is the one who is supposed to be praised?
No, like peace be upon the prophet, salawat.
Why do you need to put peace upon him? He's already at peace.
Because he's the prophet.
That
He's the final
that
prophet
doesn't
of God.
answer my question. He's already at peace, unless he's in hell right now. Then that wouldn't make sense why you would say peace be upon him.
I don't know, man. That's someone
Because
that
in the Quran it says that there's predestination. It doesn't matter who you are or what you were born for. He makes people for hell and he makes people for heaven.
Yeah.
So it's not 100% that Muhammad is in heaven. Your book says that. For
You know
me,
what?
it's 100% because I'm a follower of Christ. It says I have eternal life.
Okay, so like when an actual person, like you know, I actually know how to debate. I'm sorry, I don't know, but like when a person
That's
actually
okay.
knows,
I'm trying to give you the truth, brother. You're in a very demonic. You're in something you shouldn't be in, and you need to get out of
They're
it
called
before your
cults.
soul is doomed.
amen.
I
don't
can
know.
see it. I can see it in you. You're not 100% sure.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Are you? Are you really sure?
Yeah.
Then
Why
you're
wouldn't I?
doomed. You're doomed. It's done. There's nothing you can do. If
Okay.
you are 100% sure that you are in the right, then there's nothing you can do. You need to come to Christ before it is like 100% you're doomed. You need to come to Christ.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that. I can't follow a man.
You can't do it because you're family. I can hear it
No.
in your voice. You're not 100% sure.
Well,
Deep
why
down,
would
you
I
ain't
follow
100% sure.
my family?
Because you were raised that way.
No, my family, most of my family, they don't even like practice like that. Not like Gusi Kora. They don't read the Quran like that. Or
No
all
Muslim
they
really reads the Quran. If
all
they
they
did, they
know.
wouldn't be in Islam.
I beg to differ, but sure, what you say. But, you know, I'm learning. I'm learning about more of my religion, and I follow more of my religion
You
because I
like
see.
learning, Rupert?
Yeah, I like learning.
I want you to tonight.
Paris?
Tonight,
Sorry. It's this girl I met on her show.
Hello.
Hello, Paris.
Hello.
Hello.
So, what exactly are we trying to figure out?
Hold on. I had a
Currently,
cough.
this guy is trying to turn me into Christian. Yeah.
Well, I was having a debate, Christian versus anyone, but the Christian left, so it's over
Oh
now.
wait.
It was like
So,
almost a half an hour.
you're saying he's trying to pay you to be Christian?
No, the
No.
guy earlier was like he was about to tell me something like tonight, do something, but I'm not gonna do it. Why would I?
Oh.
Oh, there he goes.
Anywho.
What? What happened there? There he is.
God damn. Oh, he's back.
forgive me.
Yeah.
I was saying you should sit down and go read through the New Testament with an open heart, and you will feel peace like you've never felt before.
So, excuse me,
second.
Bible.
Hold on, Paris.
1 second, Paris.
All right. Do it tonight because tomorrow isn't promised. All right, bro.
I don't feel like I don't want to do that. Why?
Should,
Why should I?
So
because
Bible,
if you don't, your soul is damned.
Bible.
Hold on, Paris.
What is the
I
question you're trying
know,
to
I know. I'm going to.
I'm a
I'm gonna
Christian,
get to
red,
you in a
white, and
second.
blue.
It's one at a time right now.
Now, I believe if you sin, you deserve to suffer in hell for all eternity.
That's
Well,
not what
thank you for
Jesus
that.
taught. He taught if you sin, come to Him and He will wash you clean.
Yeah.
What I'm taught.
No, I don't believe that. If you sin, you sin. If you murder somebody, you deserve it. Jesus
Murder is a
ain't cleansing
completely
that.
different aspect, and I
Excuse
have
me,
no
Bible.
opinion of that. What's up,
Bible, if
Paris?
you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
18. Why?
Sorry, you just sound a lot much more older, or should I say like more mature?
I was born January 2nd, 2008.
Okay.
I bet he was told he was very mature for his age at the Christmas from his uncle.
What?
That doesn't make any sense,
Yo, that
but
is foul.
if you're
I
not
never
going
want to hear
to
anything
be
from
here
you
for the
again. I
debate,
don't want to speak
I'm
to
going to
you,
kick
gang.
you out.
Bible, I have a question.
What's up, man?
So, like, when somebody commits like manslaughter to another person, does your God really forgive that?
Man's laughter.
Huh?
If you want me to answer,
Man's
Yeah.
laughter can't be
Yeah.
that.
if the person who committed manslaughter, now I'm gonna reiterate really quick. There are some things that you can do in this world that will eternally tarnish your soul. You know which one that is. Manslaughter or unaliving someone, if somebody truly repents for what they did to that person and gives their life to Christ, then they will be saved. But that doesn't 100% save them from man's justice.
What do you mean, like, man, it's just like law? The law could like kill them? Whoa. Didn't mean to say that
I
word.
mean,
Like,
judging
what do you-
by American judicial system, you know,
So you
yeah,
want
it's. I mean, if you intentionally harm someone, your life is jeopardy now. But if you come to Christ before that happens, then you have eternal life, and you don't have to worry about it.
See, but what I was taught.
Why did
Was that-
Paris leave? She wanted to ask me a question.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. But what I was
Anybody
taught.
that I see, don't say anything. Let these guys talk.
I want
Like I was
to
saying.
say this one more time. There is something you can do on this planet that tarnishes your soul forever, because you will have no remorse for doing said thing. And how it happens is it's years and years and years sin over and over and over again until it just floods your mind. You know what that one is. I know what that one is. Nobody gets saved from that one. I'm talking about the registry people.
I agree.
Anybody that I
I just
see,
wanna
anybody
clarify.
that I see, don't say nothing. Let these two guys up here on stage talk.
But
Alright.
things like unaliving people, you can be saved from that. It's not 100% that you're going to get saved from man's justice, but you can get saved from God's.
Well, can I tell you what I was taught about if such thing
Sure.
was to happen? If you were to
Sure.
do such a horrible thing to another human being.
Mm-hmm.
Well, God will forgive you, but on the day of judgment, doesn't
Straight to hell.
No, it's that the person you harmed, you have to give them. You have to compensate them. They have to forgive you to be able to. Let's say like you able to get to heaven, right? Because you ask for forgiveness. God is the most forgiving, but human is not the most forgiving. So the human could take their good deeds and go to heaven, and give them their bad deeds if they're not. I see that's fair. That's fair. God will forgive you, but the human,
That's not fair.
it's the human
If you're
source.
allowed to take your pride into heaven and
I
not be a
don't know what.
forgiving angel or whatever, it's not really fair.
I don't
No,
know
because look,
what.
you did.
Hold on, wait.
Okay.
If the
Mute your
person
mic if
that
you're
you
not
wanna
on
lie-
stage,
if-
please.
If the person,
We'll get to
if you-
questions in a few.
if the person that you want to lie was a Christian, like a follower of Christ, a true follower of Christ, then they're probably going to forgive you. But that doesn't matter. That is why God put it as one of his 10 commandments that you're not supposed to kill anybody. It says, "Thou shalt not kill." I don't know how that's going to work, honestly. That's why I won't go out there and do that to people.
Yeah, I'll test it out for you.
Okay, bro.
But I'm
Yeah,
just
good luck with
speaking-
that.
Kidding.
Any other, besides manslaughter, like any other injustice. Let's say like you said something bad about a person behind their back, or said something like outlandish to them, and yet you didn't say sorry, or they didn't forgive you. They're gonna get revenge on the day of judgment. God will forgive you, but they won't. They have to forgive you to enter paradise, because my God is the most fair. He gives fair.
I don't like when
very
people
fair.
say "my
So-
God" when everybody's God is literally
What do you
the
want me to
Most
say?
High God.
So you're saying
I'm gonna just say God.
you're saying
I'm gonna
what?
stop saying
Repeat what
God.
you said. I'm trying to grasp it. Forgive me.
What?
Okay,
Repeat
what I said was
repeat what you said,
Okay,
Robert.
so let's just say if your God and his God were playing football, our All Father, the Most High Father, would be the field they played on. It would be the ball they used. It would be the sky that was above them. It would be everything and anything, including those two.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
What?
So, like, yeah, you don't understand.
He
It's
speaks in
okay.
riddles. You're just gonna have to read between the lines.
He's saying the Holy Spirit was working through Jesus.
I didn't say
To
that.
put it blatant.
No,
Jesus
I didn't say that.
Jesus was. Oh my God.
If Jesus and Allah were playing football, the Most High God would be the field that they played on, would be the football that they used, would be the sky that was shining on top of them, the clouds, the sun,
Oh, really?
the planet, the stadium.
Wait, so you think those gods are separate?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well,
They
there's
are.
your problem, Mr.
That's
Angel
not
of
a
Death.
problem. That's not the problem. The problem is I'm actually not one of those people that actually has to go and ask other people what their opinions are. But at the same hand, I'm also in the Bible what is looked at as a heretic or a false prophet or crazy. Yeah. But
what
in the
reason?
end,
What
in the
kinda-
last days,
What kind of things do you talk
everything
about?
that's bad will be looked at as good, and everything that's good will be looked at as bad.
Yo, Bible, translate that real quick.
He's talking
Yeah,
about
so
in the
basically
end
what he's
times.
saying
He's talking
is,
about in the end times.
oh, yeah, I love Bible translate, because it's a Bible
He's-
talk.
He's talking about in the end times where good will be seen as evil and evil will be seen as good by human beings, by people who aren't saved.
Isn't
Yep.
that already happening today?
Hit the
Yeah,
nail right on the
That's
hammer.
the point. It's already happening.
Yep. And if you don't believe that, then also in the end times, natural disasters will be in diverse places. And if you know anything about last month's weather show, there was
There will be a
natural
tornado that
disasters
sucks
everywhere.
every man. It will
From
be the great blow.
earthquakes, 3 earthquakes in one day in 3 different places on the earth, to flash fires and floods and 2 hurricanes that clashed together that apparently might have made a tsunami, or I don't know, they cut each other out. Who knows?
Oh, you make
No, you can go to YouTube and search it up. Anyway, all I'm
He's not
saying
making
is
anything up. Everything he's saying is yeah, that's happening. So
yeah.
we are in the last seconds of the last days.
I would have said the last
Hallelujah.
15 seconds, but since you say the last seconds, I'm gonna put it back down to what you just said, cause like I can't freaking, you feeling it more than me, like that's crazy. We're in the last seconds.
Have you looked at the moon?
Of the last days. We just had a pink
Have
moon
you looked at
the
the
other
moon?
night. It was a strawberry moon.
Yeah.
Strawberry harvest.
nice.
The
A
moon
harvest.
is growing. It's growing a red. I don't know what it's rusting.
Hue.
Pretty much. It's turning into crimson.
Yeah,
And
they
in the
they call
last,
that hue.
in Revelation, it says he's going to turn the moon to blood.
But like
So-
that's been happening since like I want to say, well, not the ones prior to 2019, but like I want to say for the last 2 years we just been getting blood moons like every other
Yeah, no, I was
month.
there for the last one. It was crazy in Texas.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody should have been paying attention to the signs. Therefore,
Yeah.
Science doesn't contradict the Lord; it proves him.
if I
Yeah, let me
place
get
you
up
in
on
a
this
seat,
debate stage, bro.
if I place you in a
All
seat,
I'm gonna
don't
tap
talk.
you in, bro.
Say
All right,
what?
Bible.
I appreciate.
Oh, thanks
Bible,
for
wait,
thanks for
Wait,
being with us. God be with you.
So I'm just a little curious. You said that science kind of something about religion and science. What was it?
I said science does not contradict the Father; it proves him.
Okay. Now my question is how exactly does it prove? And when you say prove, you're saying that he's an objective truth, as in he is real. Period.
That's the way it is. Creation didn't just make creation.
You
Creation
know,
was
I'm just gonna
creation.
move aside.
Based-
I'm just gonna move aside.
Based
Actually-
on what though? You're claiming that creation didn't just get created. Yeah. But
Here,
we don't know what created everything.
Oh,
So
actually,
how
no.
do
I'm
you
coming to you.
basically prove that that was God?
really quick.
Because creation
for-
is proof that, of God's existence, bro.
But how though? Where's
Because
your
we-
grounds?
We must come from somewhere.
Okay, but that logic is true, right? But that doesn't prove that it had to be a God.
Okay,
So,
Ben, let me ask you a question. Okay, this is more of a philosophical view of how I'm going to prove this to you. Do you believe we are the experience or the universe experiencing itself?
I wouldn't know, but I don't think that theory makes sense. No.
Okay, well, if creation created everything experiencing creation, if you happen to have believed that, it would make sense
But I
that
don't.
what's behind creation is behind creation. When you
First
say
off-
God, you probably think of, some religious book or text or belief system. But in reality, all of the proof you need is really just all around you, just the way things work, the way you think,
But
the way
you
things
do-
happen to make sense in your brain.
You do realize how this isn't proving anything, though. You're just making a claim.
Because at the end of the day, humans are just subjects to personal beliefs and experience that we
So-
can choose to believe in, that we don't always believe in, though.
Okay. So, okay, that's true, right? Okay, and how does that prove that God is real, though? We still haven't answered the question. We're just
It
dodging.
proves no, because creation. You look around you and you see a
Oh, sorry.
creation, right? Just because you don't believe in a creator doesn't mean that the creation isn't there. The fact that the
Okay.
creation is there means that creation happened in the first place.
Okay.
Whatever you
but-
believe the creator is your personal subjective truth. But you
Okay.
can't deny the fact that creation is there.
Hold on a second. If
Here's
I
the
place
thing,
you,
though. Here-
if
wait,
I
here's the
place
thing,
you in
though.
a seat, mute your mic. If I place you in a seat, mute your mic. Anyway, continue.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. You're saying, okay, everything has been created, therefore the only explanation is God. That doesn't hold up. There is no grounds to this claim. All
No,
you're
no,
saying
no,
is
no.
that look around.
You're misassuming what I'm trying to claim
Okay,
here.
so okay, so
I'm not
let me ask
claiming
you
the
this.
truth of the Bible. I'm not claiming the truth of any of the religions. I'm claiming the truth that creation is real, which signifies that creation was created.
Well, that's obviously because that's logical. You know, we're here, and something made us here. All I'm arguing is that does.
Spiritual God. I'm thinking of the objective God that's all
No,
around
I'm
us,
not.
aka creation.
I'm speaking very logically. I'm not taking no spiritual. I'm not biased. I'm just saying because I asked you if I was like, so you're claiming that there has to be a God, and you said yes, and that's where I was like, I don't know about that because to know that there has to be a God is to basically evidence that there is a God that exists, and we just simply don't have that. So to make the claim that you know there is a God and that it's backed
There's
up
no
by science
empirical
is
evidence that a
simply
spiritual
untrue.
God exists. That's why it's reliant on belief.
Okay, but why you
there
keep
is
bringing up
empirical
spiritual? Who's
evidence
talking about that?
because you're basing the existence of a God around a spirit, around a belief or a faith in something that God has created and given to us to believe in. I'm trying to tell you that regardless of what religion you choose to follow or what belief system or what faith you choose to follow, the reality of the situation is you live in a creation that was created. You can see it, you can feel it, it's all
Okay,
around you.
okay, you do see how that argument is literally what I agree with. I don't understand your point. So if you agree with just that everything was created,
My
what are you
point is
debating?
there is no empirical evidence that you're looking for the spiritual God that you are trying to get proof of. And there
Yeah,
probably won't be in this lifetime.
Mute your mic, please, honey.
I agreed on that. So what is I'm confused why you're up here then. If you agree with what I'm basically saying, what are you trying to debate?
No,
I'm just
he's
trying to let you
debating
know
the
that
Christian.
creation.
He's debating the Christian. You're just there questioning them both.
I'm just trying to let you know my point of view that the objective truth of creation and the fact that we have spirits and this ability to consciously and intelligently feel and then understand what's going on around us is a sign of an intelligent
Okay,
creator which is capable of
hold
creating
on.
such a thing.
You mentioned spirits. Did you just say that spirits are objectively true?
Mute your
And
mic
they're
if you
objectively real?
joined.
I believe personally that spirits are objectively true. Like
Okay.
Jesus, the Son of God, or
Okay, so-
Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah, or
Okay.
the Holy Spirit, the
Just-
Spirit that unifies us all, regardless of what we believe in.
Okay, just
You
before
know,
we move
I
on,
believe in all of that.
just before we move on, do we both agree that on the last topic, we were created somehow, but that doesn't automatically prove it was a God?
I mean, we came from the earth, and we feel
But
things.
but you do know to say anything other than what my point was is completely like illogical.
When we go to
The
the
most,
point, when we go to the point of us being created, right? That implies that there is a creator. Doesn't that creator be referred to as God?
Here's the thing though, you can't automatically make a bridge with it being God because there's no proof it's a God. All we could say is that we were created, but there is nothing that proves or shows or leans on it being a quote God. So to say that we were created, therefore that's proof that we were created by a God is just, you know what I mean? It has no weight.
So the best way I'd recommend you look at this, like, kind of what I'm proposing you believe in, is that we're a part of creation, and creation imposed the spirit within us that's individual to each and every one of us, and gave us certain belief systems and certain gods, quote unquote, to believe in, so that we may be closer to the creation as a whole.
So, but that would be to assume that there is a God.
Well, yeah, to assume that Jesus, I mean, you have to just believe that Jesus existed.
Okay, but here's the thing though. I believe Jesus existed, but that doesn't prove that he was divine still. Just because someone
I
was
mean, it
alive.
does.
No, it
If
doesn't.
you believe Jesus
Because-
existed, you
you
believe
can
everything in the
interject
Bible
at
is
any
true.
time.
But no, but the thing is, you can't prove that Jesus was divine. You could probably prove Jesus was real, but you can't prove that Jesus was divine. No, when I ask this question, nobody truly gives me a correct argument on how they could prove Jesus was divine.
I mean, look at the works he did. Like, no
Yeah.
mortal could do that.
So his works were what? He was just spreading the word and all that. Okay, how does this prove divinity?
Walking on water, turning water.
Well,
to
what do you
wine.
define as
Okay, here's the thing
divinity?
though.
I don't
Walking
have
on
enough
water
seats for
and
that.
I know
Let me change
I
the
know what you were
room.
gonna mention. Walking on water and resurrection and all that. People claim that's historical evidence that he was divine, but we have to remember these claims are only or these quote historical evidence are only explained inside of the Bible. If you leave the Bible, you put it down, nowhere anywhere else in the world is it gonna be mentioned. You can't use this as quote proof that Jesus was divine because it just simply doesn't hold up. So now again, I'm wondering, what proof do you have that Jesus was divine?
What
Okay,
brings
we're-
more people together other than Christianity and the church?
Bringing people
and the belief
together
in
does not
Jesus?
equal divinity. That just
It
equals
does in
good
the
morals
grand
and a good
scheme of
community.
creation.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because to say that okay, something brings people together, that means it's divinity. That doesn't. You see how that doesn't prove anything. You're just adding a title to something because of something else it does, which is
Well, what are
completely
you trying to get
unrelated.
me to prove to you exactly?
Well,
if
why
that's
do
what you
you
believe?
why do you believe that Jesus existed then? Where are you getting that from other than the Bible?
Because that can be because there's a lot of other sources that are outside of the Bible that show that Jesus might have been a real person. You know, the coincidental what's it called? The coincidental like them writing like Jesus being brought up is too many times to be a coincidence. So
Like where?
I don't remember exactly where.
No,
like,
no,
every
he's
single
got a
time.
point.
But it's brought up too many times
A
outside
simple
of the Bible
fable or fairy tale
to-
doesn't hold up in the same
Ye-
religious context unless it was
So-
true or somewhat true.
Yeah, so most people agree that he exists. To deny that his existence of being a person who lived is simply just false. So I'm not saying he don't exist. He definitely probably did exist as a person. But
Yeah.
him existing is not equivalent to him being divine.
So if you admit that he did exist, and why do you believe like his works, he didn't do his works? That's what you're saying.
What do you mean by his works? He didn't do his work. What do you mean?
You know, stuff like, just healing people of sickness. His divinity is what I'm saying. The thing that you're saying he didn't have.
What I can agree that Christianity or he brought was more.
Let me ask
more
you this,
morals,
Vin.
You know what I mean?
Why
Wait, hold
do
on.
you
It was
think
more moral.
Jesus
Wait, let
created
me
a
answer that.
religion rather than start a nation?
Wait. Let me finish.
Because
this,
what do you think would have outlived him?
Wait, hold on. So, what the other dude was saying, hold on. So, here's the thing. I'm not saying he was negative or he didn't have no effect on society. He as a person, we can't prove that he actually healed people because, like I said, the only mentions are inside of the Bible, nowhere else. There's no actual empirical evidence. There's nothing that builds off of that, like outside of the Bible. Anything grounded with the Bible is, you see what I mean? Anything grounded not using the Bible, but that would support the argument that he healed people now can be used, but there is none like that. So to say that he healed or that he was resurrected is simply not a good argument. Now, I'm not saying he didn't have no cause on he didn't. I'm not saying he didn't do nothing though. He did push morals more out there. He did bring a mindset. He did bring hope. That can be seen as good. You know what I mean? Because in reality, it can be a little it could be a little subjective, but most people agree that good morals equal good. So that was good, but just because he brought good morals does not prove his divinity.
I have an additional question about his not proving his divinity. You say that we can't prove that God exists, but you acknowledge that Jesus exists even though he's Son of God, made in God's image.
The thing is, we know that he was look, but we know that he was born. That doesn't prove he was God's child, even if he were to say it for the rest of his life. Now he's just making a claim. but we
so
know he
the
was a real
difference
person.
is we
At
we know
this
that
moment,
Jesus
I'm gonna allow
his
people
Then, do
from
you
the
believe in the
audience.
afterlife?
existed
At
beforehand.
this moment, I'm gonna
So
allow people from the audience to ask questions, but one at a time, type stuff.
Mhm.
But you gotta ask the same question to both of the people who are debating, the Christian and the
okay,
and the
could I ask the
non-Christian.
agnostic guy a question, or
But
whatever
I
he
think they're
is?
both somewhat non-Christians.
Okay, well, regardless, they're both saying that there's no claims outside of the Bible that Jesus Christ did miracles. What about the Talmud or the Roman guy Tertullian who speaks about it?
So, but here's the thing, though. Was he a believer of
No,
God?
they weren't. The Talmud literally actively speaks against Christ.
Okay,
They say
and
that he's a witch. Or sorry, not a witch. Like he did these demonic acts.
and
So
I'm
that's both
ass-
affirming it and also denying his divinity.
and wait, hold on. So, are you saying that he was divine or wasn't? I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm saying these actions at least have some sort of proof. Like it's not only in the Bible. It's not circular.
Okay,
I mean, who's to say
so
that those actions didn't have purpose?
What is it?
Who's to say that those actions of those people didn't have purpose in a divine context?
What do you mean didn't have purpose?
well, how could you prove that?
Did have purpose.
How could you prove
Yeah,
that? Though?
I don't know what you mean. I'm saying that there's active proof, like outside of the Bible, that these things happened.
Wait, may I ask, where like, what I could search up
Yeah,
for, like,
just
when
type
you
up Tertullian. Like he's a Roman soldier. There's also the fact the Talmud as a whole. So the Talmud's the Jewish book. Actively condemns Christ, calls Mary all sorts of names that
Yeah, no. Well,
Christians
the
would
Jews
consider
think 6 billion
horrific.
people are gonna go to hell at the end during the end time, so I wouldn't put much stock
Yeah,
into
but
them.
but if we're actively saying there's no other source bar the Bible, that's just a lie.
wait, the dude named Tertullian.
Tertullian, yeah.
It says he was an early Christian theologian. So
No, he was a Roman soldier before he was anything. He acted. He
okay,
acted.
Yeah, no.
but he could be a Roman
He
soldier and then become a Christian because of his faith. The same way people nowadays are not religious,
Yeah, but
if
he's
something
still an
aligns with them or
eyewitness
they
that wasn't.
feel. But you see how his only basically quote proof that it happened was him expressing it, basically experience, and everybody knows experience is not a great ground for evidence. I can't say I experienced. I can't say I experienced love from Satanism. That means Satanism is real. I can't say I experienced love from a TV show. That must mean the TV show is speaking to me through the
There's a
screen.
difference between okay. So see, when we talk about experience, there's different categories to experience. You're talking about emotion, like there's a emotion and your actual like perception are two different things. So you can perceive things through emotion.
But
You
they
can
both
try and
connect in
say,
some way.
yeah, they connect, but they're not going hand in hand. So if I was to say experience, like say for example, I'm a witness of a crime, a lawyer can't turn around and say, oh, but it was just his emotions that seen it. No, there's
Okay,
far more
so
perception that comes to it.
let's go back to what we were talking about the dude who you saying is not in the Bible, unreligious, but he claims to have seen it happen. Okay, so I'm taking I'm now so let me make this that you can
Well, no,
point
there's
out.
the Talmud as well.
Mhm.
Like it is,
So
see if okay, see trying to bring down evidence by saying this is the only thing. You said that with the Bible. So if you try to turn around and say, oh, but we only have the Bible, and then I show you another source, and then you go, oh, but we only have this. You don't only have that. Just
no, but
because
I
it's
never
less,
said that.
just
I'm
because
just
it's
trying
less
to.
evidence doesn't mean it's not true.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So if let's say the library of the one that burned down, what is it, Alexandria? All right, if there's a
Yeah.
book in there that, let's say, proves that I am a magician with real magic powers, but it burns down, right? But one page survives, and it's somebody saying that they know I did, right? But everything else burns down,
Yeah, but
and that
it's
page
not
survives, right?
analogous. That's
But
not a
that page
neologist.
survives, and that
Tertullian
page was
stuff
written by
isn't.
but listen, but the page was written by a real person, right? And the real person claims that I have magic powers. Does that mean that I have magic powers
Yeah.
because the evidence
Do you want? Do
exists,
you want to know what
or
I would
because?
say? Do you want to know what
Go
I would
ahead.
say? I would say that someone has proclaimed that you do have magic powers. So see, for someone to say otherwise, they're lying.
Okay,
Like,
wait.
regardless of if it's true or not, like you can, we're arguing between whether these miracles
Okay.
happened and whether it's documented.
Also,
Hold on,
what was the
hold
dude's name
on,
again
hold
that you
on,
claimed
hold on.
seen? Because I can't
Hold on
find
one
something
second.
on him.
Hold on one second.
Tertullian?
Bible
Oh, I'll
and
get a
Honey,
Draco.
you don't have to mute your mic now. You can talk, but just don't everybody ask questions at once.
Wait, so you're saying his name was Tertullian? Because I'm trying to find something that like the thing that you're mentioning, but I don't see it. You said Tertullian. What did he claim?
He witness account. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I might be misquoting. I'm pretty sure it's Tertullian.
He witnessed
They
the
may
what?
they may have similar names. Let me look up the name again.
Because I've been trying to find what you're trying to say is quote like proof or you know what I mean, but I don't see nothing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not quite.
know. I might be saying the
All
wrong
right,
name.
Bible.
but,
Thanks for showing up. Thanks for joining us. Thanks
So
for debating.
okay,
And I hope you have a great night.
as of right now, because I can't basically prove that what you said is true because nothing is showing up.
Yeah, well, that's
Definitely.
why
We're
you give
gonna,
me a minute.
but
That's
yeah,
why you
that's
give
why.
me a minute. Oh,
That's
so
why I'm
it's
what?
not Tertullian. It's I'll type his name. Tacitus. That's his name. They have very similar names. That's my bad.
Cassius?
Tacitus.
Oh, Tacitus.
So he was not Christian, and he wrote about Christ. Like he has absolutely no, like he doesn't hold to Christianity at all.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. He said. So you claim he witnessed what? Just to be clear.
Oh, sorry. It's not that he witnessed, but he speaks about the crucifixion, so it's confirmed that this guy did exist and was crucified.
Oh, so wait. So are you claiming that Jesus was real?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. So that doesn't go against what I'm saying. So
Well,
we
yeah,
just we.
well, it does.
So
You
you
were
just
saying
so
there's
basically
not
wait.
enough
So your
evidence
whole
for him.
evidence. No, but oh, so see, that's why I've been confused. I'm like, what is he talking about? This doesn't make sense. But you're talking about. No, I'm not talking about Jesus. I
Well,
was not
then,
talking about Jesus. You were confused on what I was talking about because I agree that Jesus most likely was a real person. Everything does add up to him.
yeah,
See, that's
like
why I'm like,
you
that's
can,
why I've been like,
well,
what do you mean?
you can
Because
see my comments. I was literally talking about that they know he exists. Just asking,
yeah,
have you read
so
a book named Did Jesus Exist? Saying Talmud, Tacitus.
wait, so if you agree with me, okay, See, oh my God, we just wasted so much time. So now I don't even remember what we were talking. I just wasted so much time. All
We're
right,
looking at you can't prove that Jesus is divine.
yeah. Oh, that's what it was. I was saying just because Jesus was real, you can't prove his divinity through him being a real person.
I mean, if
Oh,
you're
well, I never claimed so.
What?
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah, no.
No, but but I'm talking to Gus though, because he was claiming Jesus was divine because he was a real person. So I want to hear your argument though. So what exactly are you grounding this statement on?
Well, in my perspective, since he was able to create a religion that unified a wide mass of people, it makes him divine in a wide sense of creation.
Okay, but you see how you said your perspective, not objectively, and you were claiming earlier that it was objective. So
Well, I think the definition of divinity refers to the state, quality, or nature of being divine or godlike.
that doesn't prove the existence though. That just proves that what the description of divinity is
Yeah, not
being
I'm
described, but
not.
that doesn't prove it.
Can we at least
about
can we
that?
at least like say that he claimed it though? Like even if you don't think it's true, did he at least like do you affirm that he claimed to be divine?
Well, yeah. but that isn't enough to say he
Yeah,
was.
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying because there's people who will deny that he even claimed divinity. So if he claimed divinity and then he fulfills prophecies, would you not say that that's enough?
Fulfill prophecy. Hold on. Let's get at that. What do you mean fulfill prophecies?
Yeah, so like Isaiah 53.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Or
so
does-
is this gonna be a circular debate where you try to use quote proof that he caused things with the Bible?
Well, no, this is a book that came far before Christ. So I'm not proving Christ's divinity through the Bible. It's prophetic. So something can be prophetic and not be circular.
So your argument is that something seems to make sense. If a book is written and says that I am gonna be born and I'm gonna make hot dogs for the rest of my life, right? And I end up doing that. Does that
Well,
mean that
no,
the
because
prophecy was
anyone
true,
can
or
do that. So we don't claim that these prophecies, like for example, if the prophecy was, oh, this guy's going to have green eyes, that's clearly a prophecy you can write someone into. Like no one's claiming that these prophecies would be true if it was something as simple as that. But it says where Christ will be born. It says how he will die. It says about him forgiving sins, and this was all before it actually happened. So to write someone into that would be borderline impossible without Christ having to be a fictional person, which we know he isn't.
okay? So I'm searching up what prophecies he quote claimed. So just to make sure I'm not talking about false things. Okay. So what prophecies are you talking about? Because now it's
Specifically
saying that
Isaiah
there's a bunch of
53.
perspective. There's like Jewish perspectives. There's
Yeah, well, the Jewish perspective doesn't line up with it. They claim that it's
Yeah, no, the
Israel,
Jewish
but
changed the prophecy like after they killed him because
yeah,
they didn't
if
believe in him.
they claim that the person who's going to take upon the sins is Israel, but that doesn't work with the text. I mean, you can read it yourself. Like anyone reading it with any reading comprehension knows that that's not speaking about Israel. It literally speaks about a person, like an individual
hold on.
person, not a nation.
Okay, and it's saying here that he fulfilled prophecies only in biblical arguments, not anywhere out. It can't be proven outside of. Okay, so
But Matthew, Mark,
even
and John
so.
didn't write. Matthew,
Wait,
Mark,
but
Luke, and
even
John didn't write the other books.
no, but even here, it's basically saying this is gonna be circular because at the end of the
How
day,
is it
everything
circular?
still is
We're
gonna
not starting
everything
with
is
the
still
we're
gonna
not
tie
starting
back.
with the conclusion.
But everything is still gonna tie to
It's only going to
text.
be as circular as
Yeah,
you let
that's
yourself
not circular.
believe.
Yeah, so
No,
circular
but
would be
we're
starting with
gonna
the
start somewhere.
conclusion.
No, but here's the thing: you're gonna start with saying, "All right, it's here. It's written that he's gonna do this and this and this," and then later on he did this and then you were wait. First off, hold on. Were you claiming that okay, this is enough evidence to prove that he was divine? Wait,
No, I'm
let's get a
asking you, would prophetic not be? And then you were like, oh, but where? So I was giving
Yeah,
you other
no, I
prophetic
think if there's
things.
anything that proves somebody's divine, it's probably going to be that he fulfilled a prophecy supposedly given by God.
So like, if someone claims to be God and then they fulfill prophetic writings, that's them proving that they have at least some, like, if we even just take it from a secular point of view, that proves that they have some sort of knowledge, even if it's not divine. But you would have to show how he would have this knowledge.
okay. Now I have an argument. How do you know that this wasn't just like conscious fulfillment? How do you know it wasn't just like him intentionally
Because
taking upon himself a stage?
Jesus didn't actively choose to be born in Bethlehem.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, he
so
didn't choose.
okay, but the
It was
thing is,
given.
if you're stating that he was, right? That doesn't disprove this argument. So how could you prove he wasn't just consciously fulfilling it?
Because it's not something that's a choice. So like
But you do
Yeah,
realize how
didn't.
there
you're
wasn't
not
really
answering
any
the
free will
question.
in the matter for him. It was either do it or, I don't know, probably go to
Not
Jewish hell
even
or
do
some
it.
shit.
What are the chances that Christ is going to be born in Bethlehem?
So basically that's the thing though. Let's say he was born there, right? Okay, that doesn't disprove this argument as being false or illogical.
But you're saying consciously choosing this. He's not.
So you're saying that the argument that he could have just intentionally took upon himself to stage or fulfill these prophecies which came before him, which he could have learned about in his lifetime, and
Yeah,
then
but these
started
aren't
so this
writings that
wait
you
so
can.
wait here's the thing
These
though.
aren't
You're saying
writings you
that
can
this is
put yourself
illogical.
into.
Wait, but are you saying this is illogical though? This could
Yeah.
have not happened. There's no possibility of this because there's no possibility this
Yeah.
could have happened.
Well,
But off what though?
there's
You can't
okay.
claim that this has
Okay.
no type of. It's
Yeah, but
impossible. You can't say that.
you're arguing from silence
Yeah, well,
Okay. How am I arguing from silence?
because you don't have proof for that.
No, but that's why it's an argument. Because if you could break it down, then it's just gonna be illogical. But your only
But you
argument
haven't
against
broke
that
it
being
down.
that
You're
no,
saying
he
it's a
hasn't.
you're saying it's a conscious choice, but yet it's something that's not consciously chosen.
No, I said he could have been doing a conscious choice at, bro. Like what? You okay? So you're saying that because he was born in the exact place that the prophecies were mentioned. You know what I mean? There is no chance this could have been anything like that. There's no chance this could have been
Yeah,
a conscious
it's
fulfillment.
not.
No.
It's not like.
Do you not
It's
see
not
how
like
this is
it's.
illogical to?
I mean,
Yeah,
it could
you
have
have to show
been,
me
but
how.
you have to think. It's not like he just woke up one day and said, "Hey, I think I'm gonna be the son of God today and be the Messiah amongst all Jews."
No,
But how do you
it's
know
not
that?
even that. Okay.
Yeah,
But
you
how do
know
you
how
know
he
that?
knew that
though?
is because
The
God came
argument.
down
The
to him and
argument
said,
that
"Hey,
he's
by the way,
making.
you're
Okay.
my son, and you're gonna be
Okay,
the
Okay,
Messiah."
see, guts,
Guts,
that's bad. That's a bad argument.
I disagree with you, but like,
Oh.
he could actively wake up and say, "Yes, I want to be the Christ." But the issue is with these prophetic things, it's stuff that cannot be just written in because we know otherwise that these things are true. So, for
So
example, Tacitus. So, like the source that I gave you about Christ being crucified, how is that staged if it's something that the Romans actively chose for him rather than him doing it?
well, can you repeat that?
So one of the prophecies is that he's going to be crucified, like the Christ will be crucified.
Mhm.
If this is something that the Romans chose rather than Christ, how is it something that Christ is being written into if the Romans are the ones who chose it rather than Christ?
So, look, okay, could have his crucifixion been dodged, or was it forced upon him, based off of him having no power whatsoever? It was just forced upon him.
Yeah, it was forced upon him. They
So explain to
actively
me how it
hunted
was
him
forced
down.
upon him. No, but
Yeah,
you're saying that since he was born, he had no type of power. He was gonna get crucified regardless. Him specifically, he didn't just. There was
yeah,
nothing that caused him to lead up to that moment.
it was actively forced upon him when the people and the Romans had the choice to free him rather than a murderer, or for example when they hunted him down to the Garden of Gethsemane and then took him under arrest. You can't say that this isn't forced upon him. He was
Okay,
actively crucified by the
here's the
Romans.
thing though. Okay, here's the thing though. It's saying that he was crucified due to a combination of religious, political, and other factors. If we take into consideration this is the reason, this was not forced upon him. He was going out of his way and saying
Wait,
stuff that was against the Roman
yeah,
authorities, which
but
could have
that's
been dodged. Therefore, it wasn't forced.
yeah,
It led to
yeah, but
him being crucified, but
that's
you
not
can't say that
against
it was
Roman
forced and it was
law.
going to happen.
That's
No,
not
but
against Roman's
Roman.
laws.
Here's the thing, though. Romans didn't like it. Romans were
Yeah, but
okay.
you have to think
I'm
he had a
Exactly.
reason
So
to
that
believe in
literally
himself to that
literally
extent.
disproves the fact that
no,
that he would
but
actively
you
put
do
himself
realize how
there.
Romans didn't like it. He put himself in that position. We can't argue that there's
That doesn't that
there's
that doesn't
no,
mean
no.
he chose to be crucified.
No, he didn't choose to be crucified, but he knew the consequences of his actions, and he still went along with it. Therefore, it wasn't something that he was forced to have.
That's
It
not
wasn't something that was
that
supposed to
doesn't mean
happen.
he's
He could have
that
no.
doesn't
He could have no. Listen, he could have stopped, but he didn't. Why didn't he do it?
No,
Because
Vin
he
has a
wanted
point
to
here.
die
yeah,
for.
that
He
begs
wanted
the
to die for the sins,
question.
right? No.
You're
But notice
begging
how
the
he could have.
question.
Okay, so let me answer this. Could he have not? Could he have yes or no? Could he have just not have been crucified if he just stopped bringing up these political and religious
Well, no,
factors?
because it's a prophetic thing. So, for
But
example,
you're only saying it's prophetic because you're only saying
yeah,
it's
could you
prophetic
let me
after
finish,
it
bro?
happened, though. No,
Yeah,
you're only
could you
saying it's
let me
prophetic
finish
after it
then?
happened.
Yeah, can you let me explain? You asked me a question, then you cut me off.
I'm waiting.
So yeah, so the reason why I say it's prophetic is the fact that he would have to die for our sins. I'm not saying that like I'm not trying to make it circular as in so it has to happen because it's a prophecy and then the prophecy has to happen because of the prophecy. I'm saying
So
that he did it to actively save us from our sins.
Okay, so
So there
now
is
you're
a
having the
reasoning.
argument. now you're having an argument everybody else has. Oh, so if it wasn't what is, then why did he die for it? So you know,
no, I'm away from the point.
but so okay, so what are you
Explain how
trying to
Christ read himself into
wait?
these prophecies.
So no, because we're talking about this in a perspective of the conscious fulfillment argument, right? And I'm trying
Yeah,
to
so
and
explain
I'm trying to
how.
understand how it could be illogical to assume that this
No,
might have
the
been
prophecy
Well,
was that he
you
would
have the burden of
self-realize
proof
as the
to explain
Messiah,
it.
and then he would carry on that prophecy to do what he knew he was meant to do, which was rid the world of sin.
Okay,
Which
and you
let,
see
which
if
made, whether he knew or not, and yeah, he probably did have the choice to just walk away from the situation, but he knew he couldn't because he knew who he was and what his like duty was, and he believed
so
in
you're
it so
saying that
fiercely that
the
it really wasn't a
prophecy.
choice.
So you're saying that the prophecy had an open chair and anybody could pretend to be the Messiah if they go through with it. It's going to be
No.
shown
It was
that person
only
is
for
the Messiah.
him, but yes, he could have chosen
Okay,
to not
word
do it.
explicitly. Okay, how
There's
is
been
it
many
only for
people
him though?
who've tried to be there's been many people who've tried to be the Messiah and they don't get executed. Also, it's very
Because they
explicit
don't
about
want to
the
die for it.
crucifixion.
Because they end up dodging it, bro. What?
What do you mean they end
This
up
is not a good
dodging it?
argument. They end. Okay, every single time somebody has tried to be the quote,
Wait, what do you mean by
Jesus.
dodging? They
No, every
actively
time.
say that they're the Christ. They still don't get crucified.
Because they don't. Because the thing. Okay. Okay. What is the difference between them and Jesus? What did Jesus do that was different from them?
The Romans went
Turned
after
water to
him.
wine.
Wait.
If you
Wait. Hold on.
look at this,
Wait.
see if
Let's
you look
clear
at
this
this
out the
from a
way.
secular view.
Wait. Let's
You
clear
asked
that
me
up.
to
No, he
explain.
turned water to wine. Hold on. Wait. He turned
Yeah,
water
I'm
to
not.
wine. That is bad.
Are you
That's a bad
talking, Ben?
argument.
Are you talking to me or Guts?
No,
Are you going to
it's
run
because
with the bad
both of y'all
argument?
are talking, but I gotta clear one
Yes,
up over the other
but
first.
are you going to
Hold
run
on.
with the bad argument, or are you going to run with the one that can
No,
actually at least
I'm
hold
gonna.
some substance?
You do know I'm not saying I'm not gonna respond to you. I'm just gotta clear that up first. What are you talking? All right, let me speak. First off, the argument is say that he turned water to wine just doesn't hold up anywhere because where's the proof of that? The only, you know what I mean? It's only the Bible. You can't claim that. You can't really
Well, I
use
can.
that.
Okay, yes,
No,
it's
no, you
circular.
can't.
Okay.
No, you
No,
can't.
Guts.
No, you can't.
Try and stay out of the Bible when we're talking about this because it'll immediately turn around to a circular reasoning because you're
Why?
starting with the conclusion.
Okay,
Hello.
but let's get back to this though. So
Alright.
let's so
So
I
were the
still okay.
Romans did the
Wait,
Romans actively persecute this guy like
here.
the other people here
So
claiming to be the
let's say
Messiah?
the prophecy. Okay, the prophecy was fulfilled, right? The prophecy was fulfilled. It doesn't matter what led up to it being fulfilled. It was fulfilled. All right. So your argument is the prophecy was fulfilled. So Christ is divine.
No, I'm saying with that, like I'm asking you with that. So basically, the original question that I asked was if there was prophetic things that were done, would this be enough? And then you turned around and went, well, what prophetic things? So I was
Yeah.
asking you the question, would prophecy would that convince you if it was true? And you asked me to point to prophecies, so you didn't
Well,
really
yeah, and
answer.
but you see how I never denied or accepted if it was or wasn't. I wanted to hear your argument, and I have understood your argument now. Your argument is that all right, prophecies were claimed to happen, and then it doesn't matter how, but it happened. They got fulfilled,
Well, no,
and
it
so
does matter how. Of course, it does. It's
the thing
it
when I
has to
say it
matter
doesn't
how.
matter how, I mean that the start to an end happened. That's what I mean.
Oh,
And
okay,
the
okay.
start to an end happened. It did. So regardless of how it got there, whatever the mindset was, it doesn't matter because the start
No, I get you.
reached the end. And so now that I understand what you've been trying to argue, so is your argument then that this is enough proof to prove that Jesus was divine?
Did you not hear me?
No, but no. I just
the
want to hear from
original.
I just want to hear from your words. Just yes or no.
Yeah,
Is
but
this enough
yeah,
proof to prove that Jesus was divine?
yeah, but I
How?
asked you the question.
So to say that this is enough proof to prove
I
something
never.
that breaks
Did I
logic and
claim that?
everything.
So
So
okay,
no. So if you didn't claim that, just answer
Sometimes
the
you
question.
just gotta
Vin,
break the
Vin,
fourth
you
wall,
stopped for a
bro.
question.
So wait, so if you didn't claim that, I just want to hear a yes or no. Don't give me no other explanations.
Vin,
No, just answer.
Vin,
Is this
you
enough proof
answered the
to?
question. Is it enough evidence? And you can't say, oh, but I asked the question. I asked the question like 30 minutes ago. If there was prophetic stuff, would it be enough proof for you? If you
Proof
say
isn't
no,
in
then I'm.
no.
See if I
A
see,
prophecy
Vin,
isn't
see if you
enough
say
proof.
no.
People
See, if
have
you
quote prophecies fulfilled every other day. That doesn't mean
yeah, show
that
me
there
where.
was a true meaning behind it.
Show me where.
So you're saying that's enough proof to say that Christ
Then
was
you just
divine?
made a baseless claim. You just said people fulfill prophecies all the time. Show me.
I can't show. 'Cause I don't know who specific,
Well, then
what
don't
specific
make a
prophet.
baseless
People have
claim.
no because. So you're
He's
saying that
talking
no
about
one else in
he's
existence has
talking
put.
about everybody's own self prophecies on their own life, as we are all in the book of life.
What do you?
Yeah,
What
he's
do
talking
you
about
expand a
self-fulfilling
little?
prophecies.
Yeah.
What, as in like what people give themselves?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think this dude thinks we're in the end times, which is a scary thought.
I don't
Oh, okay.
think. I
Well,
just be
I
watching the signs
I
like
don't
the
think
book told us to.
I don't think self-fulfilling prophecies are enough. Like, as in like someone saying it themselves and then they fulfill their own like what they're saying. I
Yeah,
don't think that, so. Like, if I actively go, I'm going to die. That's not a prophecy. Like, that's just me. Like, I would agree
well,
with
I
you on
mean,
that,
it's not
Vin,
a
if that's what
divine
you're
prophecy
saying.
by any means, but it is a
It is
self-fulfilling
a
one.
prophecy. It's considered a prophecy if you were to.
Yeah. Well, if we're being more specific with those ones are like that's what I meant by like
So
if
you're.
No,
anyone
that's
says
more
a
of a thing
prophecy.
when what would happen like if you were a child and you wanted to grow up to be like a police officer so that you could save lives, but you turned out to be like a priest who also saves lives. You just like bam,
Yeah, but you can't take and choose from a prophecy.
self prophecy. Because that's
So
what you
Yeah,
were
but
going to
Yeah,
be
no, I don't get
you
you,
would
already.
bro.
still be denying the prophecy because
No,
you
that's
didn't
what you would
become
be
a
already.
citizen a part of
You
it.
as a child would feel that you wanted to save lives.
Yeah, no,
So
no, I
when
get
you
you, bro.
grew up, you didn't become a cop because that's a dangerous occupation, but you became a priest who also saves lives, and you still
Well,
got to do
yeah,
what
like
you
yeah, I
fulfilled
would agree
yourself to
people do
become
that.
doing.
Yeah, like people do that. I just wouldn't say that that's like equivalent here.
Yeah, no, I'm just throwing it out there because you gotta look
Yeah,
at
yeah, no fair.
all sides of the box when you're looking
Yeah, no
outside the
fair.
box.
No, I get what you mean. I don't know if that's what Vin meant, but like I wouldn't say they're on the same level as what this would be. Like when we say prophecy, I'm assuming we're talking a prophecy from maybe thousands or hundreds of years ago that are being answered by someone who actively can't write themselves in.
Yeah, no, those are like Jesus's prophecies and other people in the book's prophecies. But when you say
Like if it said
everybody's doing their own prophecies every day, that's their own
like
prophecies.
if something said that a president will be born in like a certain town, uh, sorry, like it says that a president will come, he will be like the 50th president, he will be born in this certain place. If that was to be fulfilled, I don't think that's self-writing because he was born there.
Right, like in the
Like the
time
way that Christ
travel
is.
book with Baron von Trump in it.
Yeah, but that's just like I don't think that's even prophecy. That's sort of just coincidence. Like that
Mm-hmm.
it's speaking about someone else.
It could be anything. It really just
I
depends
know
on
I know
what
what you're
people
talking about
believe
though.
it to be, because your belief just makes it real.
Mm.
Yeah, no, it comes and goes, doesn't it?
Mm. Anyway, you guys are saying.
So,
Welcome,
but
Tail. You
not
can
to
Anyways,
answer
answer
the
the
Vin,
question,
question.
but like,
Jesus really existed.
don't
The
go
the
crazy.
only circular debate here is what you're willing to believe in yourself.
No,
If
I
you
just
cannot
I've been
believe in
trying. No,
Christianity, just become a
that's
full-blown Muslim terrorist, or
that's see,
maybe a
that's not what I
Jew if
said.
you're kind of a chud,
My
Okay,
argument
what
was
or a
my
do you mean
argument
Buddhist
by
if
other
you're
was
really
prophecies?
cool.
no no.
In
Hold on,
fact,
Guts.
if
My
you want the
argument was
best
not.
chance at peace in your mind, become a Buddhist, specifically the one that believes in karmic cycle.
So my argument had nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
From the start,
I know, Vin.
from okay, but just to get it clear, what I've been trying to get at since the start, since I joined the server.
I knew that was gonna
I
happen
never
when you
tried.
got VCB'd, my boy. I was just listening to you like, yeah, he's probably gonna get VCB'd. Anyway, you were saying.
But yeah, so my argument since the start is I never explicitly mentioned it, but I never, I don't know if you can tell. I never truly went on one side or other that God didn't exist at all or Jesus did
Oh
exist.
yeah, I know, I
I've,
know.
my argument or what I been my mindset is basically like we don't know. You know what I mean? And to say one or the other is false and your argument is correct, as in, oh, God isn't real or oh, God is real.
So do
I
you believe in
I
total
I
subjectivity?
I want I want some actual empirical evidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
but you're asking for something empirical for something that's metaphysical.
see, and that's the issue though. So if somebody were to say we don't know, it could or could not be, we don't have empirical evidence, then the debate
Yeah,
is
but
ended.
people,
But
this is
he
why people try and prove it with logic. Like it's,
yeah, but then here's the thing though.
Hello,
He
Jaws.
argued that it was real and there was empirical evidence for it. And that's how
yeah,
this
well,
all
I would
basically
disagree
started.
with him when it comes to God itself. Like if you're talking about the being, I would disagree that there's like actual empirical evidence, but when you're
He was
speaking to
talking he was talking
metaphysics,
about divinity and stuff and all that. Or actually wait,
yeah,
what host, was he talking about God or was he talking about divinity or both? I don't
We were
remember no more.
talking about the divinity of Jesus.
Yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah,
like see,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a bit different. But
But
if
yeah,
you're
back to
talking
what I was
about
saying. Mhm.
if you're talking about metaphysics, you can't ask for empirical evidence because it's not physical.
Mhm.
It's like asking
Okay,
for empirical evidence for a historical event that's like for example, or no, do you know what it's better asking for? It's like asking for proof of consciousness.
mhm. But
It's like
we
you actively can't give empirical evidence.
okay. So your argument is then wait, so your argument is also that we won't know or that you still believe it to be true. I'm
Well, yeah,
confused.
no, I would say there's metaphysical arguments for it. Like, I agree with you that there's that there isn't exactly empirical evidence as in like physical proof when it comes to the being of God. Um, like for like the we can't observe like I like if you're talking about like the scientific method, you physically can't do that on something that's metaphysical. So I would say it's the equivalent of consciousness. Like you can't have empirical evidence for consciousness.
Well, but the difference is we know consciousness. We don't have to prove it if we are
We do.
living in it. No, because you don't have
So
to prove like so you don't have to prove that an apple is an apple. We know an
you
apple is
do.
an apple.
So do you know a guy named Immanuel Kant?
No, but keep going.
So Immanuel Kant's whole thing is that we can't even trust our own perspective because we're stuck within our own worldview. So we are only limited to our own senses, which is therefore circular because you're saying
Uh-huh.
something's true because of yourself, and then you're saying yourself is true because of that thing. So
Okay, and
it's inherently circular.
but then there's another argument for when you were trying to use logic, because also there was an argument. It was like Montauk's something argument where you can't just use logic to say that something exists in physical existence. You know what I mean? So
But yeah, it's not physical. So
well, no, so but you can't just use logic. Then you can't. You only
well,
simply use
yeah,
logic
when
to
I say
prove something
logic,
to
I
be.
mean you can derive it from it. So I'm not saying logic itself proves it. I'm saying if there is logic and say it's objective, then you can start the groundwork to then prove it. If someone believes in total subjectivity, you can't argue with them because there's no such thing as a truth claim. You can't
Well,
even prove that they exist.
yeah, but that's why the other dude was saying that it was objective. So
Yeah, but it depends. This is what I mean. It depends on the worldview. So it
so
depends on what you believe. Do you believe in objectivity or do you believe in complete
wait, so
subjectivity?
are you saying have you been trying to say that I'm wrong or right, or I'm just in the middle?
No,
I'm
I'm
confused. What
trying
you're
to
trying
see
to
your
get at.
worldview
Well,
because you're saying you
look, religion could be true to someone. That means it's true to them. I can't take that away from them. Now, if it's
no, I
objective,
don't mean that. So if you're okay, so if you're saying we can't prove God, okay, and then you're saying there's no empirical evidence, I'm trying to find out your worldview so then I can try and see if there is a groundwork to then see if God could exist. So if I was arguing with someone who could believes in complete subjectivity, you can't argue with them about anything because they don't believe in truth at all. You can't even prove that they exist to them because they would say, oh, it's circular.
The
So
thing
if
is,
you believe in
the thing is,
objectivity, you can
the
start
thing
with
is,
that.
God could or could not exist. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but how does that follow?
I mean, I'm agnostic. I don't like I said, we can't fully prove or disprove God existing or God not existing. So I'm not
Do
gonna
you,
take a stand and say that no, he doesn't exist. Yes, he does exist.
but
Alright.
yeah, but then that's
Once again, you're
illogical.
looking for a spiritual God. You need to just acknowledge the creation around you, and not
Guys,
the creator.
okay, guys, we do understand you haven't had a good argument since like that's not okay. You know what? Never mind.
Just
But
watch your
Well,
words.
then, do you believe in objectivity? Like, do you believe there is some sort of objectivity in this universe?
Me?
No, Vin.
the could be no.
So you believe in total subjectiveness?
Elaborate on what that means again. What you mean by that?
So like a brute fact, it would be like something that's objective. So like absolute fact, regardless of human input. While subjective is that all of our things come from our interpretation of it, like our view, like we physically.
Oh no,
Like,
yeah,
nothing's
I know
true.
that. Yeah, I know what that means. Okay. Yeah, I don't. No, it's subject. Yeah, so it's pretty subjective. I don't see how it isn't
But then
because
how can you
because
argue
just to
anything?
say no, but then also because to say that everything that the world was made perfectly for us or we live in this world and then to basically assume that it was made for us is just illogical.
But do you want me to show you how it's illogical to have a subjective worldview?
Well, I think everything I mean, if we're talking about in this debate, Christianity and like what's real is it's always gonna be like the same. There's never a true end point in this argument. So you
Yeah, but
could,
you can
but
always
we're
have a
never
starting
gonna.
point. So
But we're
like,
never.
if you say there is no objectivity, that's a truth claim. So you're
Well,
imposing
no,
that
there
there is
is
a truth.
but no, objectiveness does exist. You know what I mean? But to say that the reason why everything came to be is an objective reason, which is God. Now that's false
Yeah, how? Like, how's it follow?
because you can't prove that.
Yeah, but you're proving it with the objectivity. So like, just
So you're
saying that it's
proving it
not
with
provable.
so you're proving it with logic.
Yeah.
So which now you see how this is circular because you can't prove anything with logic itself.
What?
Yo, Vin.
Yeah, but if you believe that logic is objective, as in like the laws of logic are objective, then it doesn't matter what we believe.
Hello,
It's
Tay,
objectively
Skibbity.
there.
No, but we
Skibbity
can't just
Diva
prove something
Spoopsy.
with just logic itself. Yeah, logic helps
Yeah,
and it's
you
the grounds
can.
for stuff. But okay, so okay, hold
Can
on.
A be not A? Like
Hold on.
the law of contradiction, can something be something that it's not?
Hold on. Let me get the definition of the argument so I could explain it better because I don't remember it clear. All right, here we
The
go.
topic is Christians versus any other
No, yeah,
belief.
but the okay.
Be respectful.
Okay.
One question at a time.
Hold on. I'm thinking hella slow.
For either the Christian or the other believer.
So your argument. What was the last thing you said again? My bad. I kind of forgot. So you said
So I'm
that.
talking about the laws of logic are objective regardless of us.
They are. How do you know?
Yeah.
Explain that real quick. Just so I can understand what your perspective is. How is it just objective?
So like I would say the laws of logic are an objective truth. So like something
Oh, the
cannot be
laws.
something that it's not. Yeah,
Oh, the
that's what
laws.
I've been
Okay.
saying, the laws of logic.
Okay, but then we also have to acknowledge, like I said, you can't just prove something into existence through logic itself.
Well, what do you? Yeah, we're speaking about the laws of logic. Like, what do you mean by
Yeah,
that?
but
Like,
you were
expand a
just,
little.
but that still counts as.
I
What is
know,
your?
but I don't understand what you mean. Like, I'm saying like
I
expand a
don't quite
little.
understand what you mean. I'm kind of okay. Wait, are you trying to prove or disprove something with logic?
I'm trying to prove that there is objectivity.
Okay, but then you were saying that basically since it's objective, then my logic
Yeah,
has
you're
to.
trying to like run ahead in the argument. Like, we can just
No, I thought
we'll
that's
get
what
there
you've
at
been.
one
Is that
point.
not what you've been saying?
What do you mean?
Is that what you've not been getting at?
Yeah,
That,
but you're trying to jump forward in the argument, like
but
you're jumping ahead when we haven't even got to the crux of it.
wait. So how? Wait, how am I
It's like
jumping
trying to
ahead?
argue because you're trying to get to the end of the argument. You're trying to say, does this prove God? It doesn't. It doesn't matter if it proves God or
No,
not.
that's just the.
We're getting to this part of the argument, and then it leads on to something.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
if
so
you're
no, no,
then
no,
if you're
no. But that's
looking,
why I'm under.
then
That's
then
why I've
then
been
then
like.
then 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 then
No
then then
hashtags.
then
Hold
Um,
up.
what are you trying
uh-huh.
to get out of this debate, like exactly?
I'm just getting his perspective. I'm like, what?
Like,
no,
are you
but like
trying to believe in
you
something
know,
to
you know
like
what
uncloud mental
to look,
fog or
to
like
have a
get
debate
mental
isn't
clarity?
to have a.
I
Or are
You
you
don't
just trying to
always
gain
need something.
perspective?
Okay, hold
I
on,
agree
guts.
with
Either
you.
way, I respect it. I'm just
Guts.
looking.
Yeah, if
Guts.
you're under
Just because
18,
I'm having a
keep yelling,
debate
you
does
better,
not
boy.
equal to me wanting something out of it. Debating is just trying to stress test other people's arguments. There's nothing deeper than it. Could have something deeper, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing deeper than that, so I don't understand what you're trying
Hello,
to say.
Hike.
Vin, could you expand on what you meant a little? Because I genuinely don't understand what you meant. Like, it may just be me being ignorant to the point.
I
When you
mean,
say we can't prove something with logic itself, what do you mean?
basically like something being like so like let's say something makes logical sense to be wouldn't necessarily always actually like mean it is that. Does that make sense? Like,
I think I know what you mean, but that was like a very odd way to word it.
I don't.
like I'm
maybe
not I'm not
maybe
trying
saying
to
take a
word it.
imagine
second
if
to
you
like
argue for. I'm sorry.
maybe
I guess it's saying
maybe
like if
take
you
a
argue for like
second.
the existence.
Yeah, no. So like we can't 100% like using logic only. We can't prove he exists and he doesn't exist. You need to use like certain other things like empirical evidence or there.
Yeah, like there's a
other
difference
things.
between
Pretty much.
there's a difference between creation and a spiritual God. What should we see in religion?
Guts, what have you been talking about for like the past hour? I think
I'm just trying to clear up some of the because you're like debating in circles, and I'm trying to clear up some of these terms.
No,
It's
but
not
guys,
that
you
we're
you
debating
do
in circles. We're trying to understand each other.
Guts, we're not arguing nothing right now. We're just trying to understand what each other like
Yeah, like I'm
person means.
borderline just trying to understand his worldview. Like we're not exactly arguing something. It's just I'm trying to understand what he believes.
Yeah, we haven't really been like making claims right now.
Yeah. Like we're just sort of like I've just asked him like what do you mean by this? What do we mean by that?
Okay.
Hello.
You can expand a little if you want. Then like it's I just don't understand what you mean exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why Jesus.
Okay, I'm gonna search up the
Respectful.
definition exactly. So, cause my definition sucks.
No, it's all good, bro.
Say goodbye to Uncle Ruckus.
Wait, what's the question that's being asked him right now? I think I could help him.
Yeah, I don't know. I never asked. I joined in
No,
late.
it's we were just talking about logic, and then he said that logic can't be. He said something upon the lines of logic can't prove. I don't know. I don't want to misquote him.
Divinity.
I just don't understand what he was saying. No, not divinity.
Oh,
He
no.
was saying logic just can't prove. He said
The
logic can't
existence.
prove, and then something. I don't wanna misquote him.
Yeah, no. Yeah, as I just said earlier, it's like, like for example, if you want to prove like, I don't know, that oxygen exists or like gravity exists, right? Obviously, you can make a logical deduction, but you need to have like empirical evidence, like this exists and that exists, right? So that's kind of what we mean by that.
Yeah, but we're not talking about like something physical. Like we're talking metaphysics, or not
Yeah,
metaphysics.
I know, but
exactly,
still,
we're-
even with physical things, we can't really prove them 100% logically. We need empirical evidence.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
that's just what I'm saying. Like,
The desire to
atoms and
sound
stuff like
cringe
that.
is ticking my brain right now.
Like
Why is
atoms.
Guts
Everybody
still
else
up
high
here?
right now?
What?
So
Yeah, I'm not sure. Does anybody have any other like debates
Hectic,
or counterpoints?
I feel like
what do you mean by that? Like, could you
I just
expand a
wanted to-
little?
Does anybody else want to debate?
I mean, like
Yeah,
I wanna
sure.
ask Hectic like
Put
something
them up,
there.
put them up.
Then ask the questions.
So, yeah,
I wanted to ask you, like, why do you believe in God?
Why do I believe in God?
Well, any thieves in here.
I just know God exists.
I love that
Yes,
answer.
Dubs. That's a good idea.
I just know it.
Well, how do you know that?
Because he speaks to me, bro. He speaks.
Oh, so
to me.
through okay, so through your experience, you are proving that God is real.
But through my experience, I know it.
Stop, you're making us look bad.
So you know it as an
I know.
objective truth, or just true as in
I know
like
this
you,
as an
it's true to
objective
you?
truth.
Like for real.
You know this is an objective truth.
As
Guts, see if you believe in, see if you actually believe in Christ. Open up Galatians 1, 1:8 and 9. By the way, just look at Galatians 1:8 and 9, and you'll understand by what you're saying is just pure like what you just said is bad.
What do you mean? That I believe God exists?
No, that you said
Or
he
that I
speaks to
know
you.
God
You said that's an
exists?
objective truth.
I just know it.
Yeah, no, but you said he speaks to you.
Wait, what do you mean? Does he not speak to you? Like, I don't get it.
I thought
No,
God
he-
spoke
that-
to everybody.
He doesn't.
I'm pretty sure it's like
Yeah.
what he revealed his revelation.
It's it's not
Yeah,
a
like,
physical voice in my head though.
I'm pretty sure God wants you to have an intimate relationship with him and talk to him like he's an
Yes,
actual
but to
person in the room with
claim
him.
that God speaks
I
to you
mean,
physically
if
is a
God
bad
doesn't
claim.
talk back to you and you're just having a one-sided conversation with the real person in the room with you, that says volumes about your personality.
Well,
do
I
you think
think
God
the reason
physically
why I
speaks to
think
you?
God has talked to me is because I've been in such low places and such a, I don't know, and like
Yeah,
such need of
Wayne.
validation that like literally something had to break through to me.
Wayne, do you
So
think that
it was a
God
coping
physically
mechanism.
speaks to you then?
And yeah, I do believe it was God.
Doesn't this just sound like coping mechanism?
Could be mental health, but I don't believe it is. So might as well be God. Who cares?
Yeah, but that's circular, Guts.
So might
Alright,
as well.
You said you're looking for perspectives. Just trying to give you mine.
I just have to
No,
remind you that before all these medical terminology, diagnosis terms came out, mental terms came out, it was just us and God.
It's true.
Well, because faith has always existed. you know.
Moses may have been the most schizophrenic man alive. Well, we just never thought about it that way till now.
It's not true. He was a waterbender.
Oh, God.
Yes.
He was the original Avatar, bro.
Yes. But anyway, nobody knows anything for a fact. Everybody can believe what they want to believe. But what you do know, what you have tested, what you have experienced, you
Are you
can
high right now?
hold it. I wish you could hold it as a testimony in your life.
It's testimony.
If something is true to someone, who am I to say it's not true to them? You know, so.
Exactly.
But then,
Well,
for
I'm
you to
not
argue
gonna
now
say
that it's
that,
true
well.
for everybody is, or as an
Even if you
objective.
take a secular view, if someone has a self-destructive worldview, yeah, I'm going to tell them to not do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So even if they think it's true that they should, like, I don't know, like go out and do something to someone, I think I have the right to say to stop them.
Yeah, that's where other factors come in. But if
Free
somebody
will.
is just like, yeah, if somebody has like regular faith, you know, they're not gonna do something crazy. Then who am I to say that their faith is wrong? You know, like if they truly believe it, then they truly believe it's true. It's truly true to them. So you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
people have the right to. I would agree with you. on
Yeah.
that. Like, you can have debates about it if they want to. I don't think you should turn around and actively argue with someone who doesn't want to.
Well, no, that's
No.
that's
You
that's
gotta
not.
find out how to use some diplomatic negotiating terms and vocabulary when it comes to people like that.
God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
You should bring up or have these two talk on the mic, Resela Felicius and Hecate.
Yeah, they're both arguing back and forth. You can
Yeah.
I feel like them
Nah,
two
it's
would have
fine.
a
I'm
great
just
argument.
explaining. I'm just explaining some basic things. They
Oh,
just
but
called
no one
logic
else-
an entity.
Yeah,
Sorry,
God,
sorry.
God, logic and God separate entities, and I'm like, what does that mean for logic to be an entity? What the hell? What does this mean?
Well, an entity.
Do you mean
That's the thing,
being,
just an
or like
object.
what's
Yeah.
logic's a concept?
I refer entity as a thing that exists.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah.
it's a
Alright,
concept.
never mind. I don't know about what he was talking about.
Wait, so
So-
I'm using like entity wrong.
Yeah.
Put them on the stage.
1 second.
Yeah, put them both up. Let them speak, because no one else is really having a
Wait,
conversation.
you're quasi-realist.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Like, I'm just checking your bio and it says quasi-truth seeker. You're quasi-realist.
No, I don't know what you mean by that. I just chose it for the fun of it.
There's
Okay,
two
like for
mics.
example, like for the morality standpoint, would you be like a
Wait,
quasi
that was the wrong
anti-realist?
person. Was it?
Not quasi. I don't believe that morality is
Oh, no.
mind independent. No.
You're good. Never mind. I'll shut
You
up.
don't believe in morality?
Okay, bro. Okay, yeah.
Just saying, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
You're scary
guilty.
thought.
I'm texting my girlfriend. Give me a minute.
And so,
Friends.
what I asked you
Girlfriends,
first.
plural.
So I asked
Save
you
some for
first.
the rest of us,
what-
Persky.
Yeah. So I asked you first if God and logic are identical.
Hold on, let me
basically.
ask the first question since this is my show. Okay? Alright, so, Reese, what do you believe in and why?
I'm an atheist, and I'm an atheist because I have seen no motivation to believe in theism, till now at least. And even if I believed in theism, I would believe so unjustifiably, since I don't have a justification yet. Now, I believe in atheism specifically because it has one less assumption, so it's ontologically parsimonious.
Well, what specifically though? Because you could be like an nihilist. Like, what
Well,
specifically do you
nihilist
believe
talks
in?
about a nihilist talks about pressure, purpose. I thought he questioned me about what I believe about the existence of God, which is a true dichotomy, either he exists or not.
Well, I mean, you are arguing about so I would say it'd be better to say your actual
Holy echo, bro.
Well,
your
okay.
actual like proper belief, like in detail.
No, I didn't ask him that question yet. You gotta wait till I get into that. I wanted to ask the other guy the same question first. So, let me get into that. Alright, Hike, what do you believe and why?
He's still texting his girlfriends.
Right.
Get off Tinder and get on Roblox, you freaking
Yo,
swine.
it was on Instagram. My bad.
Alright, what do you
What I believe
why?
in? Yeah,
This guy's gaming.
I'm a Catholic. I'm a Roman Catholic. I believe in Jesus Christ being God.
Alright, so last question for the both of you before I let you guys go ham. Whatever. Reese, what first led you to adopt these beliefs or explore these theories?
You mean atheist? Or you mean like why I got into philosophy at all?
Yeah, all that. Everything. Your whole belief system.
I mean, I got into philosophy at like, what's it called, like last year basically. And I don't know, it kind of was interesting to me because I was pretty unjustified at that point. I wanted to be more justified with my beliefs. I mean, I ended up in atheism, I already said, so because I haven't discovered any justification to believe in theism. So even if I believed in theism, I justifiably believing so. And I believe in atheism because like it has one less assumption. And since I don't see any incoherence within atheism, I don't see why I shouldn't believe that.
Alright.
Wait, I could just
you
untag
same
him.
question.
This might be some.
What first
Yeah,
led
so-
you to adopt these beliefs
Please don't
or
run to it,
explore
bro.
these theories?
I don't know. I was just raised Roman Catholic, and this summer I got kind of bored, so I started studying. I've only been studying philosophy for like a month, so yeah, it's just like a little summer project. I'm probably gonna stop once my university course begins again.
Alright, now that you guys know what they are, have at them.
Wait, so you said, so you're gonna be like, there's gonna be like too much like ontological commitment to like believing that God exists? Is that what you said?
I don't believe he exists. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but you said it's gonna be like, what was the word that you used? Like too heavy in commitments.
Yeah, it's like trivially less ontologically parsimonious, and it's only just.
Yo,
Parsimonious, there we go.
Reciphilus, do you
yeah.
believe in the human soul or spirit?
Wait,
No,
wait,
bro.
I'm trying to talk.
Let's debate, bro. Let's debate. No,
Yeah,
bro.
so wait,
One
so how would you like ground
question
logic if
answered,
it wasn't for
Tom.
God?
One
Because I believe
question
that, yeah, so I believe that like the logic has like any feature that you cannot ground in anything but God. So would you tell me how you ground logic?
Yeah, I grant you that logic. Like it's mind dependent. Yeah.
Logic is mind dependent.
Mind independent. I grant you that. Yeah.
No, I know logic is mind independent, but what's it grounded in?
Well, grounded. Well, if you're going by your definition, as in it's true because of, I would say that it's circular. Like it justifies itself.
What justifies it?
Logic. I would say that it's virtuously circular. I mean, even God, if God is like logic or is like at least, well, yeah, I don't see how. Yeah, I only see God being logic, like identical to logic. Otherwise, I would need to discuss that with you. But yeah, if God is like identical to logic, then he would also circularly prove himself.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
but
don't
what, like, no. So the conversation we were having earlier, right? I can answer that for you if you want, right? So what we mean by true because of, right? It won't be like, yeah. So logic will be true because of what God is, but not like because He chose it or because He made it, right? It's because it like kind of reflects His nature, right? Like it's like an automatic thing, right?
And now by reflex, like, are you saying that logic is a separate entity to God?
Entity. What do you mean by entity?
I told you as a separate thing like this. I think they are not identical.
Yeah,
because
but
there are
it's
problems.
like entity would be the wrong word to use. I don't like the word entity here. Entity would just refer to like something that's like.
Like, what's your definition of an entity?
Well, I think entity would be like a personal being.
Well, I can Google that for you, but yeah, I just
Okay,
said.
fine. Fine. We can say it. Okay, I understand your definition of entity. Sorry. Yeah. So.
Why do you say you got for me?
It's just no. It's just like okay. So logic won't be a separate thing from God, right? But it also
Okay.
won't just be God, right?
Okay. So God is
Because-
part.
No. So it's like I'll tell you if it's of His nature. I'll be like it's like the shape of His thinking, for example. Like in His mind, because he has self knowledge, right?
Yeah.
The same way, like, yeah. Does that
Okay,
make sense
so
or
I
not
have.
really?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So another question now, because maybe there's a problem there, but I'm not sure. Are you saying that God is composite, or do you believe that God is non-composite?
Parts? No, he's not composite parts.
Okay, then how is logic not him, and also like a part of him, or like also?
Because I told you, it's just gonna be like a reflection of his nature, like his self-knowing, for example.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by.
Is God's nature? Is that what he's saying?
At this point, I don't know what.
What?
Are you trying to say that morality is not?
What I'm trying to say is right because God's like rationality exists, or like his mind, his self-knowing, right? That like the logical stem from there. That's why it exists in virtue of him, but it doesn't exist separate of him, and it's not him.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by reflection at this point.
Is morality like metaphysical?
Oh, we're not talking about morality. We're not talking about morality.
Talking about what?
We're not talking about morality. We're talking about like logic.
Oh, logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
So no. So like, yeah. So listen. I'll tell you why. Right. If logic existed independently of God, right, something else would exist besides God, right? And that would be like violating this like aesthetic, this divine aesthetic that God has, right?
No, I know. But I don't understand what you mean that he isn't him, because something is either identical to something or non-identical. If it's non-identical, then it would.
Hey, Kate, you're saying, right, that if...
Why is this guy like interrupting us? Why is this guy doing
sorry.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
when they're talking, let them talk. When they finish talking, you can ask a question.
Wait, actually, I think I can simplify this. So it's just gonna be like identical to like knowing these rules of logic, not specifically to them. Does that make sense?
I don't know what you mean by identical to knowing.
Yeah, so like I'm telling you, like if God's nature is like self-knowing, right?
I don't know what you
like his thinking, like he self-knows he exists. Like he knows he exists. That's what we mean by self-knowing.
Okay.
Okay, so he's like self-aware, he's self-knowing, right?
Yeah.
And like, so what I'm trying to say is, right, if he is a thinker, right, and these laws will exist, he is identical to the knowing of them, not specifically to them.
Well, if he's identical to the laws of logic, then well, what's the problem here?
No, he's identical to the knowing of them.
I don't know what he.
That's how his nature is.
You should...
he knows they exist.
Okay.
Like, he knows
that doesn't talk about the ontology. This just says that he has a justified true belief. This doesn't talk about the existence of logic and how it exists. This doesn't answer my question.
No, yeah, like it's just his thought. Logic is his thought, like, because he knows thereof. That's going to be his thought. So it's not going to be independent of him. It's not going to be exactly him, right? You're presenting me like a false dichotomy here.
Yeah, sure. So are his thoughts like parts of God, or are they identical of God?
Are his thoughts part of God or identical to God, bro?
Yeah.
You're really trying to get me into this like this yes parts.
I mean,
bro. It's not gonna work. I'm sorry.
His thoughts are identical to God, then logic is identical to God. If his thoughts aren't identical to God, then thoughts are parts of God, and it would make God composite. Or
they are identical. His thoughts are identical to God. Do you have an issue with that?
Well, it would be an issue because you said prior to this that logic isn't identical to God. And if logic is a thought of God...
Yes, logic is an identical to God. Yes, no. So what I'm trying to say is, right, his thought is identical to him, right?
Yeah.
And then he thinks of logic, right? That's what logic's going to be.
He what? He does what with logic?
Wait. I feel like you presented me with like a false question here. Your question was, are they identical or separate? They're not going to be identical, but they're not going to be like set apart.
Identical or not identical. I never said separate.
Oh, identical or not? Wait, if I say it's not identical, how are you gonna drag that apart?
I said that it's a non-identical body. I told you it's a true dichotomy. It's either identical or non-identical. It's trivial. So I'm telling you, if logic is a thought of God and thoughts are identical to God, then logic is identical to God. That follows.
Wait, can you tell me how that follows?
Well, you want me to repeat myself?
No, you just need to explain how it follows.
How it follows? Yeah. So, but
sorry, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, sure. So if A, which wait, actually, let me go with the first letters. I'm gonna write this in chat for you to understand. So T are.
Wait. Actually, I can answer this right. Yeah, his thoughts, like the act of his thoughts, will be identical to him, but the content of his thoughts will not be identical to him. There you go.
What do you mean by the act of his thought? I don't know what you mean by the act.
Yeah, like his thinking, right? When he thinks, right? That act will be like identical to him, right?
Okay.
It's not like so his act of knowing and his act of existing are gonna be identical to him.
Okay, so he's thinking. So
because he's pure act, right?
Yeah.
And then the contents, right? Like the logic that follows from there, right? He will know all these things. I have a question. So they're not going to be identical, and they're not not many in them.
Wait till they stop talking and ask your question.
Yeah, I have a question. So, what does it mean? What does it mean for something to be identical to God? Like, what sense do you mean it? Like,
identical would be there is no difference from saying A to be. So if his thoughts were identical to God, there would be no difference between his thoughts and God ontologically.
Wait, can you please repeat that? Wait, can you please repeat that again, please?
When we say that something is identical to something, it means that there's no difference between the two. There's absolutely no difference.
Oh, okay, I see. Wait, are you for Christianity or are you for the other beliefs?
He's atheist.
Yeah, so you're saying
Okay,
that his ability to think is identical to God, but what he thinks isn't identical. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
So are his thoughts like part of God, or are they like even separate of God?
What's
Are
like
his thoughts parts of God? Wait, what? That's not even.
I'm asking you, buddy. I never claimed that. Why do you have an issue with that? I'm asking you this stuff.
Yeah, bro. He's just asking you,
Doesn't
bro.
even follow.
Come on,
Wait, no,
Can I
but
be
like
a
that's like a nonsensical question.
This comment.
That's like a
No,
nonsensical
women
question.
don't speak. Women don't speak.
Oh man,
Don't speak, women.
shut up, you cocky.
This
Stop you
argument doesn't
cocky.
prove God exists.
Yeah, get rid of her. Get rid of her. Get rid of her.
My bad.
Get rid of her.
Yeah, get rid of her. Who does she think she is? Does she think she's funny?
The chicken?
Yo, don't use that word in chat, bro. Don't use that word in chat. Be respectful.
Oh, she
Why,
left.
Red Goofy? Why are you telling me to ban me?
You what? Because you said women don't speak like I don't know what sense you mean that, bro. Like
I say we get back on track with the actual debate.
The only reason you guys aren't muted is so you guys can
Yo,
ask questions when they're not debating back and
Can we
forth.
talk about something else, please?
What's
Because
the
like
title?
this conversation is
No,
kind
I
of.
mean, I just want to say, yeah, no. So
they're
the
getting somewhere.
thoughts specifically, they won't be part. They won't be part of him. They won't be part of
So
him.
if they're not part of him and they're not separate to him, then what is there else other than identical to him?
Wait, the thoughts specifically aren't separate of him.
Yeah, I'm saying if they're not separate and they're not parts of him, then what is there else other than identical to him?
No, there's just like when you mean thoughts specifically, like you're pushing it too far. There's nothing like to be apart there specific. There's nothing to be apart there.
What? I'm asking you, what's the relation between God and his thoughts? Like, are you saying there's absolutely
The activist thoughts are the activist thoughts are the content of his thoughts. Like you just need to make this distinction.
I told you that I'm granting you that his ability to think is okay, it's identical to God, but his thoughts aren't. I'm now questioning how that works, all right? I'm now questioning how that works. You're saying they're not.
Yeah, but his thoughts just aren't parts. They're just nothing to be a part of.
Okay, yeah, so you're saying that they're not parts. Now, you're saying that they're also not separate to God. So I'm asking you, what is, I think it's a true dichotomy here.
No, God's got like specifically the thoughts. Wait.
I don't know what's
Wait,
going
what?
on.
I thought I explained it to you.
Buddy, you gotta let me figure, right? So I'm seeing a true dichotomy here. Either you're separate to one thing, or a part of one thing, or identical to one thing. Like, is there anything else? That's what I'm seeing, at least. Is there any other option?
I don't like the answer for this, but like what I'm just trying to tell you that there's a good distinction here. It's gonna be like these thoughts are gonna be these things are gonna be concepts, right? So they can't even relate to this.
Concepts are like abstract ideas. I mean, God is already abstract. He's not material. You agree with me here?
Wait, no, but like what I'm trying to say is, right, this is not gonna be like the same category, so you can't really assign to say it's gonna be like identical to him, but they're not gonna be separate of him.
Yeah, so, well, you haven't answered my question still. I only see a true dichotomy here, and I'm asking you to show me maybe if there's any other option that I'm not seeing. I'm saying that a thing can only be separate, identical, or a part of another thing. I don't see any other option. Maybe I'm wrong, so please enlighten me and give me another option.
Yeah, so like when you talk about like these thoughts, right? So obviously we're gonna make the distinction again between acts and thoughts, right? So when he thinks he has these thoughts, okay, cool.
Nice.
The acts will be identical to him, right? Okay. But the thoughts, right, are gonna be some magical floating object, right? It's just gonna be like the act described, right? Conceptualized, right?
Yeah, nice those, bro. That's irrelevant to my question. Irrelevant.
No. I answered your question, bro. I answered your question.
Okay, I can say that you didn't answer my question. Who wins now? I can explain why.
Wait, I didn't answer your question.
I can answer
I didn't answer your question.
I'm asking you about if it's a true dichotomy that the thing is either separate or a part of or identical to another thing. I can't even write this in chat. And I'm asking you if there's another option.
Well, okay, a separate. Okay, fine. Something could be separate, part of, or identical. Okay, the thoughts aren't any of these gonna be.
Okay, yeah, and I'm asking you, like, what is the other option? Because I'm not seeing it. Please enlighten me.
No, I'm telling you this is gonna be like a category error, right? Because now you're trying to like the description of the act, right, which is gonna be like the act of thinking. The description itself won't be able to be tied in any way. There's no part of that to be tied to this thingy. So it could be like independent or like thingy, right? Like the trichotomy, but it's not going to be to God because these are not going to be these. You can't tie these things together. What are you understanding?
I don't know.
I'll be right back. Please continue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really know what you mean by they cannot be tied. Like, are you saying they're separate?
Yeah, like
cannot be tied. And
no, because the thought, right? The thought's going to be like a description of the act, right? Or do you disagree with that?
Description of an act. Well, a description of
the act.
Well, an act, I define act as a thing that exists, or well, basically actual thing. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you mean anything else other than that definition?
Yeah, no. So the thoughts are just like the one act described, right, in many ways. So these concepts are gonna flow through this thinking, right? Now, there's no part here to tie to God because God is not made up of any parts, right? In this thought right here, it will be like a thing that follows from this act. So when I say the act, yes, the act is going to be identical, right? But you can't relate the thoughts to the thing if the thoughts are going to be a description, multiple descriptions from the same act.
Yeah, so that falls under the category of separate because unrelated stuff are separate stuff. It falls under that category. So I still don't see any other option given.
What do you mean by separate here?
Separate is just going to be that it's not either part of or identical of something. That's what is separate.
So no, these thoughts are going to be like a part of this act of thinking, right? But it's not going to be like part thereof God.
So wait. So his act of thinking is a...
Wait, no, wait, I take that back. No, I take it back. I see it. I take it back. I didn't say that. Nobody heard anything. I didn't just blunder. That wasn't that.
Called it. It's okay.
Yo, Rap Griffey, you saw that in chat, bro. You saw me slip up on my English.
Yeah, I saw.
I don't really know how to explain this because this is like, this is kind of like the furthest of the understanding I have here. Like, what I'm trying to say is that like these thoughts, right, are gonna be like.
You say that logic is identical to God, bro. All the theologians say that. Anyways, go continue.
Logic is identical to God.
Yeah, most theologians say that. Anyways, continue. Just continue.
No, because you're asking me about thoughts, not about like logic. Like no, like I'm telling you, like classical theism, like in the Summa doesn't even say this. Logic's not gonna be like a separate entity, but it's not gonna be like identical to God, right?
yeah, if it's not a separate entity and it's not identical to God, then through the trichotomy that I still don't see any other option, it would mean that it's a part of God. And we've already like threw that to the garbage because God is non-composite. So that would lead to a contradiction if the trichotomy is actually
No,
true.
because I'm telling you that the logic will stem from this thinking, right? The thinking is of God, right? The logic, the thought will just be a part of this. Wait, no, I'm not saying that again. Dude, why do I keep like twisting my tongue on that? Let me try to word this properly. Oh yeah, I know, not again, bro. My bad. I know. Yeah, I don't actually know how to word this. Can someone who's smarter than me help me out? The guy in the chat.
I don't think it happens because
I
I
just
think
got back here, but like I don't know what you're talking about. What's going on?
No, not this guy. Where's the Mr. Rat Goofy? Do you know what I'm talking about, or am I just lost?
By the way, you can search it up. Most of the Muslims believe that logic is identical to God.
You wanna let me search it up? Oh, okay, I thought it was like I thought you were gonna be like.
I'm not bad faith, bro. You can do whatever.
Alright, cool.
Nor am I.
Genuinely, most
Hello
of
to
the logic
everybody new that just joined in. You're allowed to ask one question if they're not debating back and forth. It's Christians versus any other beliefs. You know, be respectful, no cursing, and you know, you keep your mics muted until you want a question because we don't want no echoes. And watch out for VCBs. Continue.
By the way, there's a war in the chat going on. Do you guys want to shift the war in the chat into like the podium?
I don't really mind.
I mean,
these ones are really in depth. Yeah, like so.
Wait, what's
you can't
going
have,
on with the podium?
You can't have a mass if it's a person not ordained by the Pope, which the SSPX are currently doing.
Literally.
So their masses would be invalid then.
I just gave you a quote from the source as well. This is the Pope's writings. These guys are not committing mass or any sacrament at all. All of it is literally just non-Catholic anymore. It's none. It has no
like
backing
within the Catholic Church, you can have you can have a mass as long as the priest is actually ordained, but the SSPX are no longer doing that. Like they're ordaining them themselves.
Exactly. I don't think this guy understands our theology, bro. Honestly,
I don't get. Wait, okay. I want to ask him this: are you converting to SSPX, or are you?
Because
Okay.
guys, just look this up. Only the sacrament of matrimony and confession was revoked from the SSPX because that's tied to the jurisdiction. Like for example, a bishop from Arkansas cannot do confessions or matrimony in another bishop's diocese.
Yeah, they
So-
also
Listen,
they
Teo,
can't
But
do
they
marriage
can
to
do
the priest.
they can do mass
Teo, have you
always
read-
validly because they're
have you-
priests.
Teo, have you read the decree?
Wait, I think I've got like a better explanation for like the trilemma question.
Teo, have
So
you
that
read the
trilemma
decree?
thing would be like the trilemma here thing would be like for specifically real things, right? So I would
Yes.
say like yes, like the act will be like a real thing, right? Because God is a real thing here,
What
right?
is this guy even
But the
talking about?
thoughts,
It's
but
the
like the
debate from beforehand.
thoughts are gonna be like, but like I'm telling you what this like the thoughts are gonna be like.
Why would
the thoughts are not going to be like actual entities. They're just going to be like relations of this act. Right? That's what I meant to say.
So, are you saying that thoughts do not exist? Because if they exist, they are entities.
No. I'm telling you that like they're specifically like yeah. No, they're not real. Like they're just relational to something.
Then I don't know.
Relational to this act.
I don't know what you mean by real then, because I define real as something that exists.
No, because you said real entities, right?
Well, that
The
would just.
thoughts aren't real entities. Sure they're real, right? But they're not real entities, right? They're just real, but they're not real entities.
I never said the word real entities like together, because that would be.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no. So that's what I'm saying. Like, sorry, okay, this is my bad English, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be bad faith or anything. It's just my English is not the best, right? Okay, let me put it simply. When you sort these things into a trilemma, right? Like the separate, identical, or part of, right? That will apply to these real entities, which at the beginning was like you said, like is logic. It was God like a real like an entity, right? Now, the thoughts aren't going to be real entities. They're going to be like real in relation to, right? This act. That's what they're going to be real in relation to, but not going to be separate entities.
Okay, if they're not separate, then they're identical to God because they're not a part of God. We've already thrown that to the garbage because God is not.
No. I just told you this trilemma will only apply to real entities, right?
You don't think that a thought is something real?
No, it's real, but it's not like an entity.
Well,
it's just real. But I'm making a distinction. It's going to be real in relation to, right, this act.
In relation to the act of thinking. Well, I don't know what that even means. Firstly, yeah, go ahead, explain that to me.
Like,
anyways.
Yeah. So like, okay, wait, no. So if I like if we have this act of thinking, right, and then we have like a thought, right, we can kind of like stick like a label, like whatever it is, onto this thought, right? But this thought isn't going to be like a separate thing. It's just going to be like a label for this one act, right? So it's just going to be like a different way to describe this act. This is what I said earlier, right? It's not going to be like a distinct thing. It's not going to be like real. It's just going to be like a label of the description of one of the uses of this act.
Again, you said it's not going to be real. I'm really confused because something real is something that exists. And I also defined entity as something that exists, right? That would just be a tautology, at least from my definition, to say...
So what exists? Something's real? Is that what you mean by when there's a real entity? Real?
I never said the words real entity. You brought that those two terms together up. I never said real entity. That would be a tautology from my part. Anyways.
Okay.
So, again, if it's not separate, unless you can give me like an option that I'm not seeing here. If they're not separate, obviously they're not part of, we've already established that, then it's identical to God. If the trichotomy.
No. What I'm trying to say is these thoughts are real, right? They're not like things specifically. They're real in the sense that they relate to this act of thinking. It's going to be the act of thinking. You're going to stick a label onto it. You're going to be, this thought will just be like a description of this act. They're not going to be separate things. It's just going to be like a way to describe this act.
Well,
I don't know your understanding.
So they're not separate. So, okay, we've already said that. Yeah, okay. So you're saying, so they relate to the act of thinking. Those real things, those thoughts that exist.
They're in relation to.
Yeah, in relation to the act of thinking. Yeah, sure. If they're in relation, then it's not identical. All right. So we're left off with either part or separate. You're saying they're not separate, and obviously they're not part. So it tends to a contradiction if the trichotomy is true, bro. I still don't understand what you're talking about.
Yo, I'm telling you, I just explained to you why you can't sort it into this trilemma.
I think, can't, because it's a contradiction. I agree with you, actually, yeah.
I'm gonna change
what I'm telling you is, right,
minutes.
like, it will exist for us, right? So if we take the act, like, of this thought, right, the act is real, right? We can agree on that. And then almost like a division or like labeling of this act into like thought 1, thought 2, thought 3, right? It only exists insofar as we can conceive it, conceptualize it, right? But it's not going to be like an actual existing thing.
Yeah, are you saying actual existing as like mind independent? Well, that would obviously follow because we're talking like for things that are.
No.
Yeah, what?
No.
What?
Sure, it can exist in like as a concept, right? But it's not gonna exist in like what's this word?
Obviously, it would exist as
Something
a.
for like many something. I'm trying to remember. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, it would exist as a concept, an abstract idea that exists. Still, it exists. A real thing is something that exists.
Okay.
So
No, but like no, yeah, like I don't know why you think like God's gonna be like a concept. God's not a concept. He just exists.
Never said that God is a concept.
Okay. Wait. So what's the issue here then?
The issue is that you're saying that logic isn't identical to God, and I'm telling you that it ends to either a problem, like just a problem of like mental gymnastics, or literally a contradiction.
What mental gymnastics?
Yeah, with all these divisions you're doing. Yeah.
No,
and-
I'm not making any divisions. God's gonna be the real thing here, right?
Okay.
Now, in concept, these thoughts, right, are gonna stem from this act of thinking, right? But that's gonna only be up to our interpretation, right? They're not gonna be like really existing. Sure, they can be like a conceptual distinction, right? These thoughts, but they're not gonna actually like in like what's it called? Numerically, like they're not gonna be like numerically distinct, like existent by themselves, right?
So
they're gonna be in relation to the rub of this thinking, right? So when I have a thought, right, that thought specifically wouldn't be something like identically existent, or sorry, no, like what's the word? Numerically distinct, existing, right? It will just be like a description, a label, something of this act of thinking which I have. Now, it can exist in interpretation, right? When you like interpret these concepts, sure, it can exist in this way, right? But on its own, it won't exist. Unlike God.
I mean, I just think it's. I'm sorry to say, but I just think it's a huge jargon. I don't see how that escapes my trichotomy that I've presented here. It's still either separate.
Yeah, because you're trying to sort these thoughts, right? But these thoughts don't even belong, and these thoughts don't even belong anywhere near the bins.
Okay, so
near
it's separate.
the three.
Okay, so
No.
And tell me
No,
the
they
other.
just look the bins, right? The bins. You can
If you're
sort
gonna let,
something that's
if he's
real,
gonna let you
right?
talk, you gotta let him talk.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so like please tell me the fourth option then. So because if you're saying that it doesn't fit to any of those three categories and it's still not a contradiction, then you're saying that my trichotomy is false. And I'm asking you, like, okay, it's false. Please enlighten me. What's the fourth like option here?
I'm not trying to beg a fourth option here.
Okay,
I'm
then-
trying to
then
tell
it's
you,
a contradiction.
right? Wait. I'm trying to tell you, right? The thoughts here, right? As I just explained, right? Like it's gonna be like a conceptual distinction, right? Between like the act of thinking, but these things independently are not real. They're like on interpretation, they are real, sure, but like existent on their own, they're not real. So they can't exist into any of these three bins. There's not a fourth bin. They just don't go into any bins. That's just because the bins only sort these real things. The only truly real distinct thing here, right, is going to be this act of thinking, which is going to be identical to God. These thoughts are not going to be anywhere near these bins.
To tell you here, you said that you don't think that my trichotomy is false, and you're also saying that it doesn't fit in the trichotomy. That's obviously a contradiction.
Wait, what? I didn't think it was false.
Well, you said that you don't think my trichotomy is false, so you think it's true, and you're also saying at the same time that it doesn't fall into the trichotomy. So you're obviously
Yeah, I don't see how that's like a contradiction, because I agree that I agree that your trilemma is right.
Okay.
But only if it's gonna be for like these distinct things that exist independent thereof, right?
Wait, you're saying that if you're agreeing with the trichotomy and at the same time saying that this thing doesn't fall under the trichotomy, you're not contradicting yourself? Is that what you're saying to me?
No, yes, that's what I'm saying, because you're trying to sort something that doesn't belong in that can't belong in the bins,
Yeah, that
Why
would.
I'll try to sort into the bins.
That would mean that my trichotomy.
No.
If that's actually true, then
There's a caveat here. There's a caveat here. You're trying to use this trichotomy when it doesn't apply to the thoughts, because I just explained to you why thoughts wouldn't fit like the possibility of this trichotomy.
to anything that exists. You said that thoughts exist. I don't know what you mean by their own, but they exist.
No, interpretation only dependent. Only interpretation dependent. So it's gonna be like descriptions of this act, right? But it's not going to be like separate entities. They're going to be like real entities. They're only going to exist in interpretation of description of the act. The act is the only thing that truly exists here.
So, thoughts do not exist for God. God doesn't have thoughts.
They exist in relation to the act of thinking.
I don't know what you mean by that. In relation to, again, it would fall under. Yeah, this relation would either make the thing separate, a part of, or identical to that thing. So again, you know, either
It's relational. What I mean by relational, it's a description of this act, right? This act of thinking. These thoughts are going to be descriptions of this act. Thought 1, thought 2, thought 3. They're going to be descriptions of the way we use these acts, but they're not going to actually exist. They're just going to be dependent on interpretation, right? But in reality, they're not like a standalone thing that exists, unlike the actual act of thinking.
Okay, so thoughts do not exist.
Depends what you mean by don't exist. Like I just made the distinction for what I mean by they don't exist. They don't exist like independent. They exist dependent on interpretation of the description of the act. So yes, they don't actually truly exist.
The description of the act. Okay, yeah, I need you actually to elaborate on that.
Yeah, so like what we mean when we think, right, and we have these thoughts. Thoughts are just going to be like a description of this act. So imagine like you get a thought. It's just going to be like this act, and you're putting like a label on it, right? Like a label of what this act is, right? Because all these thoughts are just going to be what this act is, but you like used, right?
So you're saying that.
Question.
I mean, we're talking for a long time.
Yeah, what's the?
Sure, go ahead.
Can you guys please simplify what you guys are saying? Because
I can try to simplify. So
I can simplify as well.
Simplify
Just,
it up
honestly, this
so
has
we
been
can
going for a while. Do you want to
change
just
the
give her like
facts and
exiting? Can we give her like exiting statements? Because I think we're just going in circles, not being productive. But thank you, Reciphilius.
Simplify it
I've
up
had
so
to
we
think
can
like,
switch
so
the
hard and
topic to
search
facts
this up.
versus feelings.
Yeah. Reciphilius, you want to just like agree to disagree here for now, and maybe something in the future we can
sure.
like, discuss this further.
I mean, sure, but
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I understand your frustration with. Yeah, it's fine. So I'm gonna make like my exiting statement. What I mean when I say these things to simplify this is, God is His own nature, right? Of His own nature, there's gonna be this act of thinking, of having thoughts, right? Now the thoughts that like proceed from this act are going to be dependent specifically on like interpretation. So I can interpret your thoughts and exist in our minds, right? Because we interpreted it. But it's in reality just a description of this act. So it's not like a real thing distinctly on its own. That's my exiting statement. I'm gonna go text my girlfriend. Thank you for the conversation. Reciphilius, I'm gonna be honest, you're such a kind guy, being really good faith. Like even though like you probably were fed up with me, like in my terrible explanation and my lack of knowledge, you were really putting up with me and even letting me search some of the things up. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Good faith as always. They won, by the way.
What, you ain't got a closing argument?
I mean, I don't really have anything else. I just think that what he was saying was just leading to a contradiction. I don't have anything else to say.
Alright, then we're gonna change it to facts versus feelings. I got a G missing apparently. I had to put that in there. I think the topic should be something safe, not like a baby shin. But you know, something.
Yeah, if you say A, B, people understand.
Yeah, I don't want to get flagged. But
I mean, do these two want to argue about the papacy?
Who?
Wait, who's up there?
You Fixel and Teal.
I don't care to argue about papacy. This guy, my problem with
Well,
this guy
well, not
is that he
papacy,
thinks.
but like the understanding. Like you don't have to argue
Well-
for the papacy, but I mean this understanding.
My issue with this guy is that he thinks that the SSPX are still Catholic, when given the decree by their own pope, they are no longer Catholic. I mean, I don't know how this is in any contention.
No, brother. Excommunication doesn't mean apostasy. When has excommunication become
Yeah,
equal to apostasy?
no one said they're apostates.
Yeah, that's the thing. Apostasy makes one not Catholic.
No,
Yeah,
that's not the only
so
thing that makes
there's a
one not
difference.
Catholic.
Yeah, so there's a difference between apostasy, as in leaving a religion, and leaving a denomination.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even if Catholic becomes an Orthodox, he's considered an apostate because he left the Catholic Church. The SSPX are not apostates.
No one's
They're
claiming they're
excommunicated.
apostates.
They're excommunicated. And again, how about this? When Archbishop Lefebvre, the founder of SSPX, consecrated 4 bishops without the Pope's consent, why does the Vatican consider their consecration valid but illicit? Rome calls them bishops, but illicit bishops. That is why they were excommunicated. But Rome never said that they were fake bishops. In fact, Rome verified their that they were actual bishops, but that they were illicitly consecrated. You do not know the difference between validity and licity, man. That's in the canon law.
If you're calling them illicit bishops, then that means you're saying their ministry in and of itself is forbidden.
Exactly, but that does not make them bishops.
What do you mean exactly? They're not Catholic. Are you dumb?
Yeah, so like if someone has no, because if someone has the qualifications to do something, it doesn't therefore mean they're allowed to do it. So we're not saying that these people don't have like the ability to do so, because all it would take is just waiting for the Pope to ordain them. But the point is they haven't been ordained. So you can't just, if you have the qualifications to be a teacher, if you just walk into a school, it doesn't therefore make you a teacher. You're invalid even if you have the qualifications for it.
That's it's different in the Catholic Church, bro, because once a person is consecrated or ordained, it's forever in their soul. It can never be removed. That's why
if you're saying they're illicitly like brought in, they're recognizing them as bishops, but their ministries aren't good. Like they're not allowed to do it.
Exactly, but even if they decide to do it, valid, it's illicit. Yeah,
No,
that makes them. It makes their sacraments valid but illicit. It makes their sacraments invalid but illicit. Like the same thing that happened in 1988 when Archbishop Lefebvre consecrated 4 bishops without the Pope's consent. Rome still considered them, those 4 that the Archbishop consecrated, as valid bishops but illicit. That's why they were excommunicated.
Yeah, illicit
Rome
means they
did not
can't
say
do
they were
anything.
invalid bishops.
Yeah, dude, we're not claiming that they're invalid.
Yeah.
We're claiming that their ministry is invalid.
No. Alright, yeah, you're correct.
That's
Their
what
ministry
illicit
is valid.
means.
Yeah. Yeah. My bad.
So if their ministry is invalid, you don't follow them.
That's according to the view of the Vatican. I don't. Yeah. And I don't. I consider
why
the Vatican's
why would you
judgments.
follow them if it's illicit?
I don't view them as illicit. I view the excommunication
So
of the
then why are we
Vatican
bringing
viewed
up
as invalid.
why are we bringing up that they're illicit? You disagree with that?
I'm with the SSPX position, bro, that the excommunication was not considered valid because the church right now is in a state of crisis.
That
In the canon
doesn't
law,
mean anything.
in the
That
canon law,
doesn't
the
superimpose the
bishop
Pope.
can do anything he wants if it is out of necessity or if the church is in crisis, which you can see right now.
Yeah, well, where's it saying crisis?
It's in the canon law. Let me get it for you. Canon law. Like for example, in the issue of China,
Just like
the
wait
Chinese
until they're
authorities
finished talking to each
the
other and then you
Chinese
can ask your
authorities
question.
choose their own bishops from the Catholic Church because the Pope allowed it because there was a crisis. Same thing when China
So if
chose
the,
bishops when there
so
was still no
so
Pope.
then it's clearly off of what if the Pope says it's needed or not. Like that's what shows the necessity. So if the Pope said it was not necessary, then it isn't necessary.
The Pope is not always correct, brother. The Pope did
Yeah,
not say
well,
that
yeah,
out of the
I'm
context
not
of the
making a
Bible.
dogmatic claim, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's infallible when it comes to this. But if you're appealing to the Pope's authority and then you proceed to not appeal to the Pope's authority, the Pope decided it was a crisis, so therefore that canon law could be invoked. The SSPX have
We
just said it themselves.
we Catholics can protest against the Pope when it's regarding the governance and jurisdiction or his ministry, but not the church teachings. We're still following the church teachings. We can consecrate
Yeah,
any
no
bishops as long as we are in a state of crisis. This isn't the canon law.
Yeah, but it hasn't been stated that it's a crisis. That's just been decided by the SSPX.
We can literally see the crisis in the church right now.
If I turn around right now and I say we're in a crisis, therefore I can invoke canon law, that doesn't mean it's valid.
Okay, how about this, brother? Out of every, and you ask a Catholic, how many believes in the real presence of the Eucharist? Out
Sorry,
of
say that
every
again.
Catholic in the world.
I didn't hear you say it again.
According to the study of Reuters, basically 76% of Catholics in the world do not believe in the real presence of the Eucharist. So we have a doctrinal crisis.
Yeah, that's doctrinal. That doesn't invoke the fact that they're like a valid thing to invoke
And not only
priests.
that, brother, I ask you something. If the SSPX did not exist, do you think there would still be a traditional Latin Mass today?
I don't know.
List me traditional groups that are in communion with Rome.
Yeah, but the Latin Mass isn't required.
Okay, so I'll just do it for you. The FSSP is a traditional group in communion with Rome, right? The FSSP only exists because of the SSPX. If the SSPX did not go against the Pope in 1988, then there would be no traditional Mass today because every single traditional group that practices the traditional Latin Mass is due to the SSPX.
So
Like,
what's your
if the
point? It's not,
SSPX
yeah,
is
but
not here, then
the Latin Mass isn't required.
yeah, but in the Tridentine Mass in 1500s, the Latin Mass is called the Mass of all ages. The Pope cannot revoke the Latin Mass, cannot ban it, cannot do things
Yeah,
that
but you're appealing to the fact that they brought it back. They could have brought it back or they could have not have. It doesn't change anything. It literally changes nothing, the fact if they brought it back or not.
What was that, brother?
Saying it doesn't matter whether they brought it back or not. Like, what does that prove?
Because it's a mass of the church, it's tradition.
Yeah,
We're
but
supposed to protect tradition.
but it's not a requirement.
It's a requirement. Why do you think the Council of Trent called it the Mass of all ages?
Yeah, but
Of all ages.
that's not a dogmatic statement. That doesn't mean it's required.
You do not recognize the Ecumenical Council of Trent?
No, no, I do. But what you're trying to say is that it's a requirement because the Council of Trent
The
spoke about
Ecumenical
it.
Council of Trent said that the Tridentine Mass is the Mass of all ages.
Yeah, does
What do
that
you
mean
think
it's
all ages
required?
means?
Does that mean it's required? As in
It's an
Latin.
Ecumenical Council of the Church.
Also, the Council of Trent was in Latin.
Exactly.
Yeah, so of course they're going to talk about the Latin version of it because they speak Latin.
They were specifically calling the Tridentine Mass Mass of all ages. That means it's supposed to be always present in every age. It's not supposed to be banned.
Yeah,
It's not
but that
supposed to
doesn't
be.
that's not invoking the language.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so if they spoke Latin, so if I say the Our Father is always going to be a prayer, that doesn't mean the All Father it has to be in English because I'm saying it in English.
Also, your point was that they said that the Tridentine Mass is the Mass of all ages because they were speaking Latin that time.
Yeah, the Council of Trent is in Latin.
When did you think that the Maronite Church came in communion with the Church, and what was their liturgical language?
Sorry, say that again.
When was the Maronite Church become into communion with Rome, and what was their liturgical language?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, but we're speaking about the Council of Trent.
Yes, so I'll give you the context. The Maronite Church was doing their masses in Aramaic. So by the time of the Council of Trent, the Maronite Church was doing masses in Aramaic. So it's not because the Council of Trent was specifically referring to the traditional Latin Mass. The Maronite Church already had their own mass, but the Council of Trent specifically said that the traditional Latin Mass is the Mass of all ages.
Yeah, but it's not a dogmatic statement.
You don't consider that dogma? What do you think was the purpose of the Ecumenical Council of Trent?
Yeah, but no,
Everything
but
in
I'm
it is
saying
dogma, bro.
So then why is the Pope oppose it?
The Pope is not supposed to. The Pope is just trying to restrict it. It's basically a tiptoeing, not to try and ban the Latin Mass because he knows he cannot ban it. That's why he's just
No,
restricting it.
I'm on about Pope Paul.
Pope Paul didn't restrict the Latin Mass.
Yeah, he didn't restrict it, but he said it wasn't a requirement. So if it's a dogmatic statement, why is he going against it?
Nothing in Vatican II was dogma. It's a pastoral council.
So then why are we saying it's dogma?
Because it's an ecumenical council, but if you
Dogma or is it not?
It doesn't really. If you read the Vatican II letters, they don't define anything as dogmatic, but we just recognize it as an ecumenical council.
I don't
really know because it's confusing.
I don't think you get what I'm saying. So if the Pope is opposing this and it's a dogmatic statement, does that mean that the Pope was wrong? As in, like in this statement about obviously I'm not saying he's infallible in this statement, but I'm asking you, do you think he was wrong when he said that it's not a requirement?
When did the Pope say that it's not a requirement in Vatican II?
I'm not
all I know is
Vatican II, I'm talking about, I can't remember what number it is. Paul. Pretty sure he's like 5 or 6.
Are you talking about the National Commission of the Liturgy, where they
I don't know the
brought
exact
up the Latin Mass or the new Mass?
I need to look it up. I'm not this in depth with it.
You know that the popes can say anything, right? But that doesn't make any of their statements.
I already said it wasn't fallible. Sorry, I already said it wasn't infallible. I said, do you agree with him or not?
How long have you been Catholic, brother?
Hey,
not very long.
Give me like say 6 or 7 minutes. Had to go pay rent real quick. You guys continue the conversation. Okay.
Yeah, not very long.
All right.
Okay. So have you been confirmed already?
No. Processing.
Yo, what's going on?
Yo, what's good?
Chilling like a villain, trying to be good like God. I'm about to go pay my rent. Make sure everybody's just respectful. If they're not debating back and forth on their facts and feelings, you feel free to ask a question, one question at a time. Don't bombard them with questions. And I'll be back. Continue.
What are we talking about?
So anyways, my friend, you made the case about the apostasy of the SSPX, right? When did the SSPX apostatize? You just called them non-Catholics. You're basically saying they're apostates. So when, for example, a Catholic leaves Catholicism for Orthodoxy, are they apostates?
No, they've just shifted their denomination. That doesn't mean they're an apostate.
Oh, they're considered apostates by the canon law.
They're not. Where?
They're apostates.
So they're no longer Christian.
No, they're no longer Catholic. They're an apostate from the Catholic Church.
Yeah, but they're not
apostasy
apostates.
is infidelity.
Yeah, but they're not apostates in the way you're trying to oppose it. You're trying to oppose it as if they're no longer Christian.
Wait, what does apostate mean?
Like you've
By
left the
your
religion.
definition.
Someone who leaves the Catholic Church in the canon law.
Yeah, but the way you're opposing apostate is as if they're no longer Christian.
What do you mean?
Typically, the word when you're talking about apostates, at least nowadays, is leaving a religion. If you're talking denominations, I wouldn't really use the word apostate. At least like in modern, like you wouldn't say they're an apostate to Christianity. You can say they're an apostate to Catholicism, but not in the sense that you're trying to say it.
Exactly.
They're still Christians.
The SSPX is guilty of schism, not being non-Catholic.
They're guilty of what?
They're in schism. That does not make them non-Catholic.
Yeah, but the people that they ordain aren't. Like they're not they're not ordained by the Pope. They're not following law. So
That still does not make them non-Catholic.
The people can be the people who are ordaining them can be priests. Like I already agreed to this earlier that they're ordained, they can give mass, but that doesn't mean that anyone that they ordain is able to.
Yeah, they're not illicit according to Rome, but that does not
So
make
is that
them
not actively
non-Catholic.
going against, if you're ordaining people and then you're allowing them to do mass, is that not actively going against what canon law tells you to do?
That's why they're guilty of schism, not being non-Catholic. They're not apostates of the Catholic Church.
If you're actively going against what the Catholic Church says, would that not make you not Catholic? It's like saying I'm Christian, but I don't believe in the doctrine of Christianity.
Like for example, brother, just because you sin, that does not make you non-Catholic. The church says that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this sin, but we still do it anyways. That does not make us non-Catholic.
You're then actively going against the church.
Yes, that's what mortal sin is for. You commit mortal sin, you're going against the church, but it doesn't make you non-Catholic.
No, this is not the same as a mortal sin.
Yes, it's going against the Pope is a mortal sin.
Yes, no, but what I'm saying is you're trying to oppose it as if they're still Catholic because it's a mortal sin. They're actively governing their own church.
No, they're still part of the Catholic Church. They're in a separate religious order. A religious order is not their own church.
Sorry, say that again.
A religious order is not their own church. The SSPX is part of the Catholic Church, but an excommunicated one. That's why there's things called excommunicated Catholics. There's no such thing as excommunicated non-Catholic.
Yeah, but they're no longer teaching Catholic belief.
They're guilty of schism, not heresy.
They're literally going against what the Pope's saying.
That's schism, not heresy. They're still following the doctrines of the church. They're just not obeying it.
They're not. They're allowing people to get sacraments off people who aren't ordained.
They believe in the doctrines of the Catholic Church. They're just not obeying it. Like for example, you believe that adultery is a sin, but just because a Catholic commits adultery against the church teachings, that does not make them non-Catholic.
But if they actively say that isn't wrong, that's when they're going against the teachings. So if I was to commit adultery and then say if I was to commit adultery and then say it's not wrong, you cannot say I'm following the Bible because I'm actively going against it.
Yes, but you don't stop being Catholic.
Yeah,
unless
but you're
join another
actively going.
religion.
Yeah, but you can't claim to be something if you're not following it. This is like saying
So how
this is
about
like
this,
saying
brother?
someone's. This is like me going I'm Christian and then saying I don't believe that Christ is God.
How about
And
this,
then
brother?
what is it?
Who is the religious head of the SSPX?
What
Since
is
they're
it?
their own what is the religious head of the SSPX? Since you claim that they are their own denomination, who is the head of the SSPX?
I don't know. They're bishops.
The head of SSPX is still the Bishop of Rome. They're just disobeying the Bishop of Rome. That makes them Catholics.
Yeah, but I'm not saying when I say denomination, I mean I am saying they're leaving, but they're actively going against
They're not leaving.
the Catholic.
They're just going against the Pope.
Yeah, which would make them not Catholic.
No,
So
their
our
religious
orthodox,
head, the
our
Christian religious head, is
orthodoxy,
still the Pope.
our orthodoxy, are they Catholic because they believe in the authority of the Pope, just not infallibility?
They don't believe in the authority of the Pope. They don't believe
They
that the
they
Pope
do
has
they do
universal
believe that.
jurisdiction.
Yeah, they don't believe he has all jurisdiction, but they believe he has authority.
Yes, and the SSPX believes that the Pope has universal jurisdiction. That makes
So
them
then why
Catholic
did they not follow him?
because they're in schism. It still does not make them non-Catholic. In the have you seen the religious order description, brother? The religious head is still the Pope, is still Pope Leo.
Yeah, but you
That
can't say
makes
you
them
follow
Catholic.
something. You can't say you follow something if you're actively going against it. That's contradictory.
Yes, we do. Yes, we're still Catholic even if we disobey the church teachings every day. We sin every day. That's against the church.
Yes,
But
but
we're still Catholic.
you don't understand it, okay? You can say that you can go against the church teachings, but if you claim that there's nothing wrong with going against the church teachings, then you're not a Christian. See, if I say sinning is not wrong, that I'm no longer a Christian.
What do you mean? You're Christian as long as you're baptized.
So if someone actively goes against the core doctrines and they're baptized, are they Christian?
As long if what? I didn't hear you.
I said if someone's baptized and they actively go against the core doctrine of Christianity, are they Christian?
Yes, because the baptism never leaves.
So if they actively go against core doctrines within a religion, they stay that religion even though they're actively going against the core doctrine.
They're forever Christians no matter what sins they commit as long as they never leave the church. Like for example, they started proclaiming that Allah is God or Shiva is God.
Wait, so can someone proclaim that Allah is God and be Christian?
Nope. They're no
So
longer
then there's
Christian because
so
they
then there's
apostatized.
clearly a criteria of where you start going against a belief and then you're not Christian. So the same would go
Yes.
for a Catholic.
Yes.
There's a certain
But
there's a certain point where you go against the Catholic belief and then you're
okay,
therefore not
how about this,
Catholic.
brother? How about this? The Orthodoxy is not Catholic because the religious head is the ecumenical patriarch Bartolomeo. The Martin Luther is not Catholic because his religious head is himself. Is the SSPX Catholic, non-Catholic even though the religious head is the Pope?
Well, yeah, they're actively opposing him.
They're disobeying him in the consecrations, but they never stop believing him as the religious head.
But if they see him as an authority and they tell him to do something and they're disobeying it, they're actively not following him.
Like you can disobey your father, but that does not make you stop being his son.
So yeah, it doesn't make you stop being his son, but you can't say you follow what your father says. So you can't say you can't both say that you're following what your father says and then not follow what your father says. That's a contradiction.
Yeah, but you never stop being his son. That means
Yeah,
the SSPX never stops
it's
being
not. It's,
Catholic.
yeah, that's not analogous.
They never
So
stop being part of the mother church.
that's not analogous. So the better analogy would be saying that you've.
You muted, bro. What happened?
Damn, sorry. I thought I was unmuted there. So you can't. It's not analogous to say that you're still your father's son because there's a difference between your biology and what your ideology is. So if you're saying you're following your father, and then you proceed to not follow your father, you can't then claim that you're still following him because you're not.
The correct word is that the SSPX are not in communion with the Pope. They are not in full communion Catholics. What do you call this?
Yeah, but if they actively go against Catholic doctrine, then they're no longer Catholic.
when is it Catholic doctrine to always obey the Pope?
They need to always
We literally
obey
have
the
so
Pope.
many saints to
They
just
are
obey the Pope.
they are ordaining their own and then allowing them to do mass.
How many saints we have so many saints that disobey the Pope, bro?
Yeah, there's a
Disobeying the
difference
Pope is not
between
always.
there's a difference between disobeying, okay? There's a difference between disobeying and then proceeding to carry on. So Martin, like these, like Martin Luther, he disobeyed, but then he continued to keep disobeying. So people can disobey the Pope and keep the core doctrine, but then if you're continuing and then you're claiming, oh, we still follow the Pope, you're not following him anymore. So if the
Okay,
Pope
so the
tells you,
problem with Martin Luther is that who is his religious head? Himself. The religious head of the SSPX is the Pope. It's always the
yeah,
Pope. They're
but
just
yes,
not following his
but they're
orders.
no longer following him. You're not allowing his authority. So he's actively told you do not do this, like, or you will be possibly excommunicated, and they still did it of their own authority. So the bishops themselves are the authority.
That doesn't stop making the Pope their father. They're just not following their father.
Yeah,
The Pope is
which
still
means
their father.
they're not following the papacy. That would make them not
Yeah,
Catholic.
they're just not in full communion.
No, they're not following. If someone doesn't follow the papacy, they're not Catholic.
They literally
This is
state that their head is still the
this
Pope.
is literally the difference between an Orthodox and a Catholic.
No, the difference between an Orthodox is that their religious head is the ecumenical patriarch. The religious head of a Catholic is the Pope, which the
Yes, and
SSPX recognize.
theirs would be the bishops that are disobeying. Who are they? Wait, let's look at this, okay? Who are the SSPX following? The Pope or the bishops that are disobeying?
Okay,
Who?
wait.
Because you can't say they're following the Pope if the Pope's telling them something different. They're actively following the bishops. So see, the same way you're saying, oh, Martin Luther was their head. It would the head of these would be their bishops. So then they're not following the Pope anymore. They're following their bishops. And you can't say the bishops are following the Pope if they're disagreeing with him. That
Don't
is
disagree with the
contradictory.
Pope in the Catholic Church doctrines.
Yeah, not on all of them, but they still disagree with ordaining. They ordained people by themselves. That's you can't say that's an active disagreement. Orthodoxy and Catholicism don't disagree on everything. They agree with a lot of stuff, but they still disagree on certain things. That's what separates them, the same as the SSPX
Okay. How
and the
about this,
Catholic
brother?
Church.
Which doctrine of the SSPX makes them not Catholic?
Ordaining. They literally ordain people without the Pope.
That's not a doctrine.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking the doctrine. I'm just talking about belief.
So basically, the SSPX has 100% the same doctrine as the Catholic Church, but they're not Catholics. That's what you said.
Yeah, because they're going against the papacy.
Disobeying the papacy does not make you non-Catholic.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. If you don't act, so if you believe the Pope's the universal authority, and then you proceed to disobey the universal authority and keep disobeying, even when he warned you will get excommunicated, you think that's still following?
They recognize the Pope as the universal authority. They just don't obey. Like what you call this? They recognize the Pope in paper.
This is like me saying God's the
That's the official
universal
doctrine.
authority. This is like me saying that God is the universal authority, but we don't have to follow him.
Like for example, brother, I can agree that the president is my what do you call this, head of my country, but just because I don't follow the laws of my country, it does not make me a non-citizen.
Sorry, say that again.
Just because you don't follow the laws of a country, it does not make you a non-citizen.
Yeah, but it would make you a criminal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They are schismatic Catholics.
And if
That's what you call criminal Catholics.
so if someone was to move to the USA, So if someone was to move to the USA and they commit a crime, they can literally get exported back to their country because they no longer follow the law of the country. So they move, they get deported, which means they're no longer
Yeah,
a
but
citizen of the
the
country.
bishops were born Catholic. A person
Yeah,
born
not all of them.
US-born people will never get deported.
Yeah, what about the priests? What about the priests that were ordained by them and not by the Pope?
That's the thing. The ordination marks a person's soul forever. This ordination can never be removed.
Yeah, but would
This
they
is
would
in
they
the
be
canon law.
Yeah, but are they considered valid?
Yes, they're considered valid. They're just illicit.
Unless
Valid
it
is not the
means they're
same
not,
as licity, man.
unless it means you can't follow them. That means they're not valid.
No, validity is very different from licity.
Yeah,
Like,
when I
bro,
say,
just
see when I,
look
okay,
up the
see when I
canon law.
say it. No, see when I say it, okay? Can you take their sacraments?
You can take the sacraments, but it's illicit.
What? So you can take the Eucharist off someone who's not ordained by the Pope.
Yes, for emergency reasons, it's in the canon
What do
law.
you mean for it's not an emergency reason. There's 750 priests.
Okay, so you rest on that hill. You genuinely believe
What do
that
you mean
a
on
person
that
cannot
hill?
take. You genuinely believe a person cannot take sacraments unless for emergency reasons.
What's considered an emergency reason in this case?
For example, there's no Catholic church near you. No illicitly ministered Catholic priest near you. It's in
Yeah,
the
so
canon law.
say
You can take the
so
sacraments of the
okay, so
Orthodox.
I'm not arguing that. So say for example you have someone who was ordained by the Pope and then you have someone who's ordained by the SSPX and they're both taking mass. Are you able to take a blessing from the one who's not ordained by the Pope?
Priests are not ordained by the Pope. They're ordained by the bishops themselves.
Yeah, but are you able to take their sacraments even if since there's another priest there who's been ordained directly from the Pope, like as in they've had like the Pope's ordained him, okay? But the other one, are you allowed to take the one sacrament who hasn't been ordained by the Pope?
The Catholics in communion with Rome are not supposed to take the sacraments of the ones not licit that doesn't have a licit ministry.
So is that a yes or a no?
No, I'm not supposed to take sacraments at all because I'm not
So do
baptized
you,
yet.
okay, bro, stop playing semantics. Is someone able to? Is someone who's a part of the church able to?
Able to?
Yes, so is someone within the church able to do so?
No.
So then do you not see how this actively goes against the law?
Yes, that's what you call illicit partaking of sacraments of schismatics.
Yes, which would mean they're going against the doctrine.
Yes, but it makes them schismatic, not non-Catholic.
If someone actively goes against the law, they're no longer abiding by the law.
Yes, they're what you call non-law abiding citizens.
No.
Catholics who disobey the Pope are what you call schismatic Catholics.
Well, no, because for example, if I'm in a job, if I'm in a job and I was to go against the policies of the job and they fire me, just because I worked there doesn't mean that I therefore always work there. Like
Does your job have a permanent mark on your soul, like what a Catholic priest is? Like when they are ordained,
does that mean I can?
priest, even if they get
but
fired.
does that mean I can still do the job because I'm fired?
But you can't do the job anymore. But it's not a good analogy because the priesthood marks your soul forever.
I'm not,
a job is not like that.
I'm not disagreeing with you that those priests cannot give sacraments. I've literally agreed with you the entire time that those priests can give sacraments, but they ordained people who aren't ordained by the Pope. They're illicit. You can't take sacraments from them.
Yeah, you can't take sacraments from them because they're not illicit.
Did you not think sacraments are required?
What?
Do you not think sacraments are a requirement? So baptism, do you not think you need to be baptized?
Yes, you need to be baptized.
So can a priest who hasn't been ordained by the Pope give a baptism and it be valid?
It's still valid.
How is it valid if they can't give sacraments?
They can give sacraments validly, but they cannot. It's illicit. That's why
Illicit means you can't follow it.
Okay. How about this?
You keep
When
saying the word
Bishop
illicit
Mars-
as if it changes anything. It doesn't. They still can't take the sacrament.
Okay, dude. Okay. I have a question for you. Does Vatican recognize the consecration of the 4 bishops against his will in 1988 when the SSPX founder consecrated 4 bishops?
Yeah, they do, but do they say they're allowed to do
Oh,
ministry?
see?
Do they say they're allowed to do ministry?
That's the thing. That's what you
Are
call
they,
valid.
are they allowed to do ministry and give sacraments?
They're not allowed to do the.
So then they're not allowed to give sacraments. So why are we bringing them up? I've never disagreed with you that they're not valid. I literally told you they are valid, but they're illicit. So they're not allowed to do things.
Exactly. We're the same. We're in the same position after
Brother,
all.
if
Valid but
someone,
illicit.
yeah, I never disagree with you on this. You think that I'm disagreeing. I never disagree with you that they're not valid, but they're not allowed to give sacraments. They're going against the church if they do so.
Exactly.
So the SSPX are doing this.
Yes, but if
So
they're
they're
not
actively
allowed,
going against the church.
if they're not allowed, but if they still do it, it's still valid, but it's not
It's not
illicit.
valid. How is it valid if it's illicit?
Yes, because for example, the bishop founder of SSPX went against the church and consecrated four priests. Those consecrations are considered valid, but against the obedience of the church.
Are they allowed to give sacraments?
They're not allowed, but if they
So
did,
if
it
they
will be
did, is
considered
the,
valid but wrong.
if they did, are those sacraments considered valid in the Vatican?
Yes, just like how the 4 bishops consecrated by
So
the
you're telling me
SSPX founder in
you're telling me
1988
they're
is
allowed to give
considered bishop.
sacraments then?
No, they're not allowed.
So then if they're doing that, is that not actively going against the church?
Yes, but if they did that without the Pope's consent either, they're still gonna be bishops, but illicitly consecrated, like what happened in 1988. They're actual
They're literally
bishops,
going
but
against, so they're
they don't
literally
have a
going
ministry.
against so they're going against the church and what the church is
Yes,
telling them to do.
because
So then if you go
bishophood,
if you go against what the church is telling you to do, how can you claim to be a part of the church?
because they don't have what do you call this, heretical beliefs. Like they believe that the Pope has universal jurisdiction. They're what you call schismatic
You don't
Catholics,
have to
not
be
non-Catholics.
you don't have to be a heretic to go against the church.
What do you mean?
Unorthodox.
That's not the only thing that makes you be able to go against the church. The orthodoxy
Okay. Let's go back to the analogy.
The orthodoxy don't commit every heresy considering by the Catholic Church, but yet they would disagree on things with them.
They're heretics according to Rome.
No, but no, you. Oh my, this guy. So, okay, are we talking broad or are we talking specific? Which one are we talking?
They're unintentional heretics. They're still heretics, but unintentional.
Is everything they do heretical?
Not everything they do, but the core doctrines of theirs is heretical.
So do the Catholics believe in those things that are not heretical?
Many of them are heretical, but not all.
Okay, so do the Catholics believe in the same things that are not heretical?
Yes, just like this is
Are they still
don't teach
different?
any heretical things.
Are they still different churches?
Yes, they're different churches because they have different religious heads.
So, we're going in circles. Okay, if you go against the doctrine of the church, you're no longer a part of it.
If a citizen goes against his president, he's still a citizen.
Why we bring this isn't analogous.
It's analogous.
How is it analogous? Because if those priests that were ordained, they might be considered valid. So in the case of a citizenship, they may have a visa. Like in this way, they might have a visa. But if they do anything, their visa becomes invalid. So if they were to do sacraments, their visa gets cancelled and then they're gone. So see if you're talking about the original priests that were ordained by
But
the Pope.
the
It's
priesthood
enough.
is not akin to a visa because the priesthood marks the soul forever. A visa can
Yeah.
be revoked, but
Oh
the
my
priesthood
Lord. Did you
can never be
did you
revoked.
not hear me? So if someone does something if someone then does something within the city, a crime, they get their visa revoked and then they're not allowed. So if someone was to actively do a
Yeah,
sacrament,
but that
they're
doesn't
going
make
against
them
the
a citizen.
church.
They're what you call criminal citizens.
Oh my
And
Lord.
the
Your
SPX is
analogy
called schismatic Catholic.
your analogy is not analogous.
It's
It's not
analogous, bro, because
it's not
there are such
analogous.
things as schismatic Catholic. Do you believe there's such things called schismatic Catholic?
I'm not exactly sure. I don't know.
Yes, there is an actual thing called schismatic Catholic.
Yeah, I just said I don't know. So
Yes, there's a schismatic Catholic. That's what you call as a SPX. They're Catholics but schismatic.
you you actively go against the church.
Yes, but that does not make them non-Catholic. They're what you call schismatics.
Okay, so if I go against the Catholic Church, am I Catholic?
Yes, schismatic.
Brother, what is this argument? So if those priests if those priests give a sacrament, are they abiding by canon law, or are they doing something they're not allowed to do?
Okay. How about this, brother? Just look up what is a schismatic Catholic.
Yeah, no, that continue. So if those people were to give sacraments, are they going against what the canon law tells them to do?
Yes, that makes them schismatic. It does
Yeah,
not
so
make
are they
them
not actively
non-Catholic.
opposing the church? Like the church as a whole, not just the Pope?
Yes, that's what schism is. It does not make them non-Catholic.
So if someone schisms from a church, what's it make them?
They're what you call schismatic Catholics. They still recognize the Pope, but they
So
disobey
they're
his
not Catholics.
policies. They're Catholics. They're what you call schismatic Catholics. Just look it up.
Yeah,
It's
that's
in the canon law.
if I even give you this, then that's not they're not the same thing.
What do you mean?
They wouldn't be Catholics.
Why wouldn't they be Catholics?
Because it's a
Schismatic
different
Catholic is in the canon law. They're
it's a
Catholics
different
but schismatic.
category.
What do you mean different categories? Schism is like rejecting the Pope's authority.
Yeah, but
That
they're not
makes
just
you
a
a
true,
schismatic.
they're not just rejecting the Pope's authority, they're going against the law itself. They're actively giving sacraments when they're not meant to.
Yes, that's what schism is.
Yeah, that's not just going against the Pope, that's just going against the church as a whole.
That's what you consider schism when a bishop or a priest gives sacraments when he's not given what do you call this, given authority by the Pope to do so. That makes him schismatic. He doesn't stop being Catholic.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be with the Catholic Church, you would be disagreeing with them. If I
Yes,
if
that's
I
what
dis
schism is.
if I disagree with an ideology, do I affirm the ideology?
Okay. How about this? Define what is schism, since I don't think we have the same definition.
Yeah, I'm not. Have you not heard me this entire time? I already affirmed that these people are valid in the eyes of the Catholic Church, as in they're priests, but they're still actively going
Exactly.
against it.
That's what you call schism. What's your definition of schism, brother?
Yeah,
The conversation was
I've never used the word schism. You're using it.
yes, because that's the correct term. They're what you call schismatic Catholics.
So then, what's your definition of schism? I'm not the one. I'm
Someone
not
who
the one.
disobeys the papal orders.
The what?
When you disobey the Pope, you're an automatic schismatic.
Yeah, they're not just
Does not make you
disobeying the Pope.
non-Catholic. They're disobeying the Pope. When for example, a bishop gives sacraments without any consent from the Pope, that makes him schismatic.
Let me look more into this.
Just look up. Do a favor for me. Look up what is a schismatic Catholic. Wait, what? أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد
You
رسول
sang the
الله
Shahada.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. Oh, wait, I'm not muted.
Where you guys stopped talking? I had you in the background. I was.
Say what?
Why you guys stop talking?
Oh, I don't know why they stopped talking. I think it's because
Because I'm reading.
switched up the.
Does we agree that the SSPX are schismatic Catholics? They're Catholics but schismatics.
What?
So,
Anyone else?
so historically and canonically, formal schism is viewed as a severe.
Historically, that's true.
Yeah, and also, brother, look up also. Does excommunication means non-Catholic? Many of our saints were excommunicated, but doesn't make them non-Catholic. Like for example, Saint Joan of Arc, she was excommunicated and died while in excommunication, but she was declared a saint because the excommunication was invalid.
Yeah, but
Even
did she
though the Pope
yeah, but
recognized her excommunication during that time.
yeah, but did the person recognize that they'd done wrong?
Pretty much because the Pope during the time of Saint Joan Arc was considered the excommunication valid. It was until
So
like 1900s when it was the
did she
excommunication was
so
repealed.
so did she know that she had actively done something wrong?
I don't really know. But what we do know is that the church considered the excommunication of Joan Arc valid until like the 1900s. So that's why when the SSPX is excommunicated today, we don't consider it valid because we have points that the church is in crisis, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Because excommunication is not what you call when the church excommunicates someone, it's not infallible. Look up, brother, in Google. Saint Joan of Arc excommunicated.
I think it's about time to excommunicate this conversation. We've
Actually,
been
I have
here
a
long
question for him. So do you think that Lutherans are Catholic?
No, because they don't recognize the Pope as the head of their church.
Yeah, but they would have at one point. So would you have considered them schismatic Catholics?
Yes, until they decided to form their own religious head, their own church where Martin Luther is the head.
Yeah, I disagree with you. I mean, I can add you and come back to you when I've read more on catechism.
Okay, how about this? Was Saint Joan of Arc Catholic?
You're asking me about people I don't know. I don't know these people. I can't really speak on them.
She died in excommunication, by the way, but she was made a saint because they realized that the excommunication was invalid.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't know enough about this to sort of either oppose or affirm.
Yeah, she was pretty much excommunicated for 500 years.
Yeah, but I'm not like I can't really
So was she
comment on that. I
Catholic?
don't.
She's excommunicated.
Do you not understand what I'm saying? I said I don't know enough to either affirm or oppose.
Just basically,
It's like
brother,
I
excommunication doesn't mean
either
non-Catholic.
I can't either agree or disagree because I don't know.
All right, buddy.
I mean, you can start a different conversation if you want, but like I've added you, I'll read more in the catechism, but I'd say I agree to disagree. I'll concede the point that I don't know enough, at least on these specific parts, but I still disagree. I just need more. I don't know. Need to read more in the catechism.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this has been the show that we've had today, and I appreciate everybody coming in and viewing, spewing their viewpoints, so that everybody can see who they are and what they do, and what they're about. And I would hope that everybody would join us next time they see us, probably later on today, in the next show that we're on. So make sure you hit that like button if you like this content, and be sure to look out for the next one. From us to you, this is us saying bye, YouTube. Bye bye.
You were recording me?
The whole time.